Stop talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick earth with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent server? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent with your friends over?
I'm moving on. I think I'm coming out of the fire closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
Not have a birthday, not have a flavor, and things making sense.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Gem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. We are back once again with the show they don't want you to see. In tonight's show, we bring you the very best from the last 2 weeks in conspiratardia, including Trump goes to hell, finally. In the UK, Robin Hood joins the far right. Local councils struggle to deal with weaponised streetlights and UFOs, and the United Kingdom rally fails to start a civil war. Witsit Getsit is disturbed by the evil plottings of Big Hair as he makes plans for Plandemic 2.0. Also on the Flat Earth, the debate is over and we lost, apparently. Plus, Mikey Smith reports the Drunk Debunk show to US Border Patrol, and fake Dr. Stephen Alonso wants you to enrol in his Flat Earth University. All this and much, much more in our awesome show. I am your host, Gem, and as always, joining me with their insightful and humorous commentary are just some of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Gem.
Good evening,
Hello.
Mr. Gem.
That was a bit of a long intro, wasn't it? I know. I had to work hard for that.
Well, I hope Dr. Alonso has financial aid. Otherwise, I won't be able to afford his university.
Yeah. Anyway, please feel free if you enjoy the show and would like to reward me for all of my efforts in compiling it. Please feel free to super chat the show, or even better, hang on, I better get the link in me hand, as they say. Hang on. Gotta get that. I'm getting the PayPal link because it's better. Because Google don't get any of your money. I get it all. So let me post that. So if you feel like rewarding me by either of those methods, I would be very grateful. Right, let's get on with it. We have a lot to get through tonight, so just one funny to kick us off, where we answer the question, will Trump go to hell?
If God sends me to hell, I have a plan to make sure that I get into heaven. They say there's lots of levels to hell. So in terms of levels, you want to be sent to the worst level. And a lot of people would say, why do you want to be sent to the worst level? Because the worst level is where all of the best lawyers are. And believe me, I know them all. These are the worst lawyers in terms of hell, but they're the best lawyers in terms of earth. And it's going to be so easy to find. You know, as soon as you get there, you plop down, you probably burn your feet. It's so hot down there. But you're going to find lawyers that are going to be right next to you. There's a lawyer. And we will hit God so hard, we'll sue him so hard like he's never been sued before. We will sue for eternity in heaven for all of us. And he's going to have to settle. I'll pull God to the side. I'll say, listen, you and I both know these guys can't get into heaven. It would be a total catastrophe. Of course I'm going to backstab these lawyers. They deserve it. It's not another sin. Don't count it against me. And he'll have to settle. I mean, we sue for eternity for all these guys really would cause a catastrophe in heaven. You don't want that many lawyers in heaven. And he'll have to settle. He'll give me 500. I think we'll go for 500 years in heaven. I'm not going to go for eternity because I think he's going to see how fantastic I am. I'll be the life of the party in heaven. I'll play a harp better than anyone. I'll be flying around like an angel. I'll be a guardian angel, really. I'll guardian angel everybody, really. Just imagine millions of guardian angels that look like me would be a beautiful planet. And I think after the 500 years or 600 years, we'll renegotiate. But I think God will see my good behavior and let me stay in heaven forever. And that's my plan, to spend eternity in paradise.
Aw, he's quite cute, isn't he, that Trump?
He didn't even talk to the Pope.
I love that God was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And I love the way that it was an old Morgan Freeman, but a youthful, bouffanted-haired Trump.
Yeah. Okay, next, a collection of crazy Christians to delight your soul.
You look at Paula White, the chief faith advisor to Donald Trump. You look at some of the clips of her like rolling on the ground or waving a coat and trying to slay people in the spirit and speaking in tongues. She's a witch. She's a witch. She's not just a Christian with some bad theology. She is a wolf. She's a false teacher. But even more than that, as a woman, I think that it is actually technically accurate to say, well, she's a false teacher in a general sense. But what particular kind of false prophet? She is a witch. She's a witch who casts spells.
Conservatism and Christianity are not the same. Right. And so we have this libertarianism that has infiltrated the conservative movement, so to speak. And so there comes a place where ultimately what we decide in terms of policy has to be aligned with biblical truth. And we talk about the nature of drugs, and the Bible speaks to this issue. And it is opening up our children and of course others to demonic activity, destructive behavior. And it's one thing people choose to do it, God gives us a choice, but when government puts a seal of approval on it, it only expands.
A firing squad is a couple bucks, you know what I mean? And it's humane. You have it's a quick end to life. We shouldn't torture anyone, absolutely, but put them down. And by the way, just so people know, if somebody's convicted of a capital crime, that doesn't mean that God doesn't love them, right? God still loves them. And there's still hope for that person on death row, too. And we as the government should recognize that and say, hey, you're going to pay for your crime here in this life. You're going to be executed. However, there is life after death. And just like the thief on the right, you can be in paradise when you take your last breath, and we would want that for you, and Christ would want that for you. And I even have heard Erica Kirk talk about how she prays for the assassin of her husband, that someday he will find Christ, and him and Charlie will both be in heaven someday praising our Savior. That, to me, is so powerful, and that's what we should be doing. So it's not unkind and it's not unloving to carry out the death penalty. It's unkind, unloving if we don't, and we can actually bless both society and even the person on death row. It can be a blessing to them too, because they can take their last breath on this earth, open their eyes, and be in the presence of Jesus. And today, like Jesus told the thief on the right, today you will be with me in paradise. And I think that's the way to do it justly, to also have mercy, and to do it humbly, just like Micah 6:8 tells us to do in Scripture.
I don't see any path aside from like the full removal of feminism. I just think so long as we have democracy coupled with universal suffrage, you will constantly be going against the grain. You're constantly going to have half of the population voting for temperance, tolerance.
Yes, you can't.
Suicidal empathy. And my point, I guess, is that I don't think you're going to get people to vote away democracy or vote away.
But it does happen.
It can, but my point is that I'm agreeing with you. I think that it has to be taken. I think that men, virtuous, ambitious, masculine men, have to climb the ladder of power and forcefully take away from the people that which is their detriment.
And this is a big one, guys. This is huge. Is she willing to submit to you as the head of the household? Will she respect you? Will she obey you? This is perhaps one of the most important things to probe for whenever you are trying to find a wife. Will she submit to your authority? Because look, we've all got some latent feminism in us, right? We've been discipled in the era of feminism, but you can cure a good, godly woman of her feminism if she is willing to obey you, if she is willing to submit to you as the head of the household.
The last training I was in, there was a representative from North Carolina and Raleigh area, and he's calling for on May Day to shut down all the schools, all businesses, all restaurants, nurses to not show up to work. I recorded the whole thing, Raleigh, North Carolina, and basically he wants to go crush capitalism and the billionaires. He's a teacher. He is a public school teacher, and he was advising other teachers how they could call in sick so that they could shut down the schools. Would your constituent, Democrat, Republican, how do you think North Carolinians feel about that message?
Well, again, North Carolinians, I pray, are understanding what you at Moms for Liberty and others have been saying now for years, that this is not just democracy. This is Marxism that is being done in every way. And the whole idea of coming to our young people and somehow trying to brainwash them, it's tragic. And so I'm hopeful people in the Wake County and Raleigh area will stand up against this and reject it, because, if we don't, then we're going to find ourselves in a world of hurt.
My brother lives in that area. I told him this stuff. He's like, send it to me. I'm sharing it. He's like, we do not want this in North Carolina. So we've got to understand our enemy and who they are and do what is necessary to protect our civilization.
These people are coming in. They're just, like we saw with the Somalian fraud in Minnesota, they're parasites and they don't care. Sure. These people do not care. Do you feel that the people you encounter when you were deporting, are these people that loved America and want to be a part of America? And they're, I hear that all the time. They're like, oh, well, they have a right to be here just the same as I. Now, do these people care about the American way?
You're really hitting the nail on the head here. And I think this is something that's lost in this overall conversation. And I'm glad you touched on it. It's that culture. It's our culture. Our culture is at stake here. And when you bring that many from another culture that don't care about your culture, you've got a problem. And you asked me, do we see that? So we saw that on the ground in every single city we were in. Why someone would come out and fly a foreign flag in the streets to protest or whatever they were doing when immigration officers were there is beyond me. Yep. But what that did do is it let me know that there's something else afoot here, and our culture is definitely in jeopardy by those hundreds of millions of foreigners that, as you say, don't care about your culture.
He opened fired. He stood up in that room and opened fired. And I sit here tonight telling you, we beheld another miracle. We beheld an impossibility. There is no way that he could not have hit the president or the vice president from where he was. It was literally, the men were sitting there literally as sitting ducks. But we sit here tonight once again with a bona fide miracle.
Let's face it, most of the media is left. It's not evenly divided. I saw Politico, New York Times there, CNN, MSNBC. Good. Now, you live in that rough and burly brass knuckle world of lying and twisting the facts, Daily Beast and Sludge Drudge Report. You're always beating up on guys like the white Christian nationalists. But now your wife is with you, made up and all glamorous, and she doesn't live in your world, but she's married to you, and obviously you guys think the same or you wouldn't be married. And she's at the table, and suddenly she's got the mascara running with tears. She's getting home, going home and saying, my God, what's going on? Because she had to dodge under the table when the guns started to pop and the Secret Service were running everyone out. Guess what that moment was? You weren't at a Trump rally now. You're at a left-wing media banquet feeling the consequence of your rhetoric. Sorry if I get some perverse satisfaction out of that observation. But I promise you many of them are going home thinking, maybe we ought to dial down the rhetoric, because the people they're winding up are nutty enough to kill a whole lot of people indiscriminately to get at their target or blow up a room. All right, I got that out of my system. Let's see what platforms allow this to get out there. I'm just saying, I'm not glad it happened. But if it's going to happen, I'm glad it's going to be an eye-opener for the people that are creating the problem.
I love his shirt. Wasn't that fantastic?
Yeah, I couldn't hear a word he said. His jacket was so loud.
Well, I thought it was a jacket.
Fine stuff. Oh God, it's just. Jim, I was just looking at that jacket, thinking, there will never be a time in England where someone's going to wear that with a Sunak
Right.
or Starmer. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Oh,
Starmer Reeves.
Yeah, it's just if you wore that in Manchester or Liverpool, that would just basically you might as well just write on the front, "Beat me up, please."
Yeah.
All
right.
I was just going to say, there's a couple of things there. The second guy was talking about women basically not having the vote.
Right.
His justifications is that they inject the three words he used: temperance, tolerance, and empathy in society.
Yeah.
We've sitting at home going, yeah, that's true. Actually, they do, and that's obviously a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how does that work?
Oh,
And then the guy was going on about the miracle of the sitting ducks not getting shot. In his mind, he thinks the shooter got into the main hall.
Yeah, and said he opened fire, and I don't think he did. I don't think he fired a shot, did he?
No,
I don't think.
No. And the guy at the beginning talking about the, forgiving death row and finding God, and saying that Charlie Kirk's wife said that his assassin hopefully finds God and will be with Charlie Kirk in heaven. Well, as a confirmed atheist, I also back that up. I think that Charlie Kirk and his assassin will eventually be in exactly the same place.
Yeah.
That brings you some comfort.
That line about women and empathy and voting and everything, we're going to hear that again tonight. So remember that one.
Okay.
All right, to the UK now, and actually my own fair city of Nottingham, which, as you know, is the home of Robin Hood, who is celebrated with a statue in the city centre, which, according to this video, was taken by this right-wing protester. Take a look.
The Nottingham protest today, mass deportations protest. The left came out and said they were going to take the flag and put Palestinian flags on it. So we got here even earlier. There's our sign. We've got all the police about. They're filming us now as well. That's all right. But now, listen, they said to us they were going to be here at 8 o'clock this morning. So we've been here since 7:30, and not a single person has turned up. But there we go. Should be a good day. Hopefully we'll do all right. But thank you for everybody who sent messages of support. I've had quite a few people ask to see if they can donate. We don't want any donations. We're here to take our country back. We're doing it because we're patriots and we love you all. And yeah, we love our country. So let's get it back sensibly. Let's get it back properly. And say hello to the media team. They've been filming us now for a while. But so we'll get some lives up throughout the day. Hopefully we'll get some good conversation, good people, good turnout. But have a fantastic day, everybody, and see you soon.
I love the way he couldn't figure out how to turn it off. So, what a winner there. He won that one, didn't he? They managed to convince him to get up and get into the city centre for 7:30 on a Sunday morning. He probably got up at 6 o'clock.
They were afraid the Palestinian flags were going to do what? Change the attitude of the UK?
Change the attitude of Robin Hood, perhaps.
He goes, hey, guess what? And the way he's going, guess what? We come at 7:30. When we got at 8 o'clock, nobody here. He's won.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They trick you, knobhead.
I love the way they always say, we love you all, and then immediately afterwards say, take our country back. But from whom? If you love them all.
All right, still in the UK, Blade Runner and recent flat earther Matt Houston has inspired one of his fan followers to vandalise streetlights, which he believes are harmful. Take a look.
Listen to this. This is the sort of message I like to get on my phone. I ain't going to say the lad's name or where he's from or anything, but listen.
All right, Matty boy. Your latest podcast just inspired me. I just took out 3 streetlights where I live. I'd already done one of them before, one directly by my house.
Man's legally defending himself there. He can do that, and there will be no punishment for that, because they're causing harm to the environment. Yeah, he's legally defending himself.
I've got a massive laurel hedge there, which was blocking the light anyway. I just went and done it. They kept switching it back on. I kept switching it off. They kept coming back and switching it back on again. So I just cut the earth cable this time, and when they come, I'm going to stop them. There's one opposite my house. They were beaming through my fucking bedroom window, really annoying me.
Yeah.
So I've just done that one. Now I've done the one up further down the road by the roundabout as well. So that's 3 I took out just today.
Good lad.
You've inspired me, mate. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to fucking carry on doing this. I got some...
There you go. Man's going to carry on. If everyone went and knocked out 3 streetlights nearest to their house, we'd have proper fucking, like, these things are causing harm. We can prove it. Anyone who wants to do it, like, yeah, do it. And, like, all you got to do is ask me for the video first. It shows you they're causing harm. Go and look at the case at Barnet Council. The LED streetlights are causing harm. Barnet Council are going to have to take them all down. Anyone who wants to turn it off, you've got a defence in law. You're legally defending yourself. Get out and do it. Yeah? I'm saying it on the internet. Why aren't they going to... They can't nick me for this.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Just so unbelievable. What is that costing the taxpayer?
But he wants to take down lampposts?
Yeah,
Lamp posts are
streetlights.
dangerous?
Yeah, because he thinks they're dangerous. But the ones in Barnet that he was on about, what the problem was there was that people complained that the light was too harsh. It was like a sort of bluish white light that was very bright. And so there was one particular person that made some big complaint about it. And what the council did was they changed the LEDs for like a soft, like a warm white kind of thing.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And anyway, when this got some publicity, and it caused other people to complain about them. And so I think they had to change a few of them. But that's all it was. It wasn't that they're causing harm or harming the environment as he's trying to make out,
What did they think they were doing actually harmful?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't actually say, does he? But usually, he's one of Mark Steele's lot. So usually he thinks there's some sort of death ray or, some sort of 5G thing going on or something of that ilk,
You always had lampposts for hundreds of years, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but not LED ones. They don't like the LED ones.
How is this happening? People thinking that lampposts are trying to kill them.
Yeah. This is one of the things that our local councils have to deal with. Our recent local council elections led to the election of 1,400 new reformed councillors who, like the last batch, are a bunch of idiots who got elected by riding on Nigel Farage's coattails. Here is a fine example from Doncaster Council.
So, what I've got to say is not been mentioned by any member in this chamber. It's been a topic that seems no one wants to cover. Given the verified unidentified anomaly phenomena, UAP activity, recorded directly over an immediate vicinity of Doncaster Sheffield Airport, including the 2020 cockpit video of the supersonic object and multiple 2025 to 2026 sightings in the Bawtry and Tollby areas, and including my own ward over this weekend. And in line with NASA's recommendations for evidence-based UAP oversight focused on aviation safety, I move to make the suggestion that full council establishes a temporary Doncaster UAP Overview and Safety Committee or panel. This panel committee shall coordinate with all local authorities across Yorkshire and the Humber on aerospace safety monitoring and data sharing, produce a public report within 6 months assessing any implications for airport operations and regional infrastructure, operate within existing council budget with no additional cost to taxpayer, follow best practice, evidence-based approach consistent with NASA's guidance and UAP safety and transparency. This ensures Doncaster leads on emerging aviation safety considerations while maintaining full transparency and public confidence in the airport reopening. Now,
Yeah, just another thing the council have to deal with. Streetlights and UFOs.
I mean, this is in Doncaster.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? He's a local councillor and he wants to investigate UFOs.
Someone's sitting in someone's sitting in London in one of these headquarters where they, these one of these agencies are going, hang on a minute, there's a call from Doncaster to release all the UFO files, so let's get a move on.
Right.
This is probably the first time he spoke on the council, isn't it?
Yeah, this is his maiden speech.
Well, it kind of makes a change from the usual sort of like, I'll make sure there's less dog shit type of stuff, doesn't it? I suppose.
Right, but that is what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be making sure that people have bus services and that the roads, the potholes are fixed and that the schools are manned. That he's not supposed to be fucking investigating UFOs. Fucking conspiratards.
He's going to be such a valuable contribution to the community, isn't he? You could just tell already.
I mean, this is just reform all over, though, isn't it? It was the same with the last lot. They lost 78 of their councillors that were elected last year, who either some defected, some just resigned. Quite a few they had to kick out because their social media history came to light and they'd said all sorts of racist shit in the past. I mean, their vetting process is just ridiculous, and people will just vote for any old fucker because they think they're voting for Nigel Farage and that they're going to oust the government by voting in a local council election.
Right. I heard that one of the ones in this batch that have just recently been elected was shocked to find out when he'd won that it's actually a full-time job.
Right.
He thought he was going to be able to do it in the evenings and keep his job at some sort of retail outlet.
Right.
I mean, you can't make it up, can you?
It's just unbelievable, aren't they? All right, now, as we mentioned in the last show, tonight we were hoping to report from the front lines of the Civil War, which was due to start yesterday. Sadly, there is no war. The government and even the Prime Minister are still in place. Because, believe it or not, 50,000 fuckwits having a day out in London wasn't sufficient to cause a revolution. Here's a collection of clips from the Unite the Kingdom and the West rally.
We're walking to the front of the march. Get ready, Britain, for the biggest show of unity and patriotism this country. Come on! Keir Starmer, the country's awake. Your days are numbered. Listen, there are millions on the streets of London. The people have spoken. We don't like Muslim candidates going on about Gaza. I feel like that is the motion set here. We want mass deportation, so we want re-migration, baby. But look how many people. Aim high, vote for low, isn't that right? But yeah, he's not just an online figure. Don't get sucked into it, alright? Yeah, I know, but don't get sucked into it. It's a difficult.
Moving on, ignore it. Just
I have just seen the aerial footage from today. I've just watched the helicopter footage from today. Wow, Britain! We are here in our millions, right? We wasn't sure. We put screens from here to Trafalgar Square. It's full to the brim. Which means a mile down there, people are watching and listening. The work and effort that went into securing this and planning it, thank you everyone who made it possible.
Let me hear you. Just the men. And the women. Now everyone together. 1, 2, 3. They tried to silence, tried to shame. We won't bow nor play their game. Speak the truth, we stand our ground. Within the people that power's found. Come one, come all, stand side by side. Time to stand, we must not hide. Raise your voices, raise your voice. Free speech lives, it's still our choice. Come on, come all, the time has come. Unite the kingdom, we'll show them how. Come on, one more time.
Thank you, Duff! Thank you, Duff! Thank you!
Do you know, whenever I see these people murdered, I see children raped, I see these mass killings, I think, where are the parents to speak up, to use that opportunity to warn the rest of the country? Your doors are not safe. They're bringing in criminals, rapists, murderers. Do you know, last year in the United States of America, 66% of the murders were by illegal immigrants. That means 66% of the murders didn't have to happen. We need our own ICE. Europe needs its own ICE. Get these criminals, round them up, and get them out of our country.
Why are you here today?
Because if no one comes, we're getting overrun. We're a dying breed, and we are the best.
You're getting overrun by who, my friend?
Sir?
Who are you getting overrun by?
Nobody. Nobody's overrunning me, like. We're getting overrun by by radical Islamists.
Really?
That's who we're getting overrun by, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Is it everywhere?
No, not quite everywhere, but it's getting it.
So
what's your opinion on it?
Well, I'm just here filming. I'm a local in London.
Don't tell me don't.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm not convinced that there is a big Islamic problem that's like England's getting taken over. So there are Muslims here. Yeah,
they come with these passports. Just if they had a passport, I wouldn't have a problem.
So if they've got passports, you're okay. So it's a passport thing.
Come with a passport and you're all right.
Even if they're Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not about colour, it's about an ideology. It's trying to take over the world.
So it's the ideology then? It's the ideology?
No, listen, it's not. Islam is designed to take over the world, that's it.
How do you know?
Because it's written in the doctrine. Kill all disbelievers.
What, you read it in the Quran?
I have read that, mate.
Are you sure? I don't think it says that.
What does it say then? Kill the Jews first, then kill the disbelievers, and then take the money off the Christians. Make them pay the jizya. They're getting out.
Listen guys, I just want to come out and say something, yeah? Don't judge me for this.
We're not going to judge people, mate. We don't judge people.
You don't judge people?
No, don't give a fuck. I'm Geordie, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like black people.
Nor do I. Nor do I.
So we're on the same page.
Fucking mate. Black people are fucking... I know what
Oh.
We don't need them.
What would you do if you saw a black right now?
Do you know where I've got in my bag?
What would you do?
I've got 3 knives in my bag. I'm going to fucking bleed.
You've got 3 knives in your bag
Yeah.
and you'd use them on the black if you saw one?
Fucking right I would.
Oh, mental. That's crazy.
No, I didn't give a fuck me.
Good. I'm glad you do that.
Do you want to see them?
No, we'll be fine actually. Yeah, we'll be
I
good.
put one in the cement box. Got a Chinese blade that fucking it'll fucking do your artery.
Oh,
And I
will it?
couldn't give a fuck.
Oh, crazy. Well, I think that's a great way for us to just say, like, who's straights?
Oh, street!
Who's straights?
Oh, street!
Distraction tactics. Who's straights?
Oh, street!
Yeah, get out of here, quick.
That man would have took a bullet for me, I know he would have done. So, anniversary in 2 days, right? God bless him, right? Everyone, thank you for behaviour. You've done yourself proud, you've done it.
You know, as somebody who is obviously a pro-patriot, the fucking behaviour from some of them is disgusting. Like, and I don't mean violence or anything, I ain't seen nothing like that. But it's just drunken yobbishness, pissing on the streets. Like, I literally just had to walk through a fucking river of urine. Like, what are you doing? You're out here waving Union Jacks. I wouldn't fucking dream of behaving the way they do while I'm wearing that. Fucking sort it out, lads, because it just ain't on. It's just not on.
That was Unite the Kingdom and the West rally. Wasn't that fun?
It's such a shame for the guy at the end there, Nazi Tarquin, to have to sort of rub shoulders with Toothless Tommy, isn't it?
Yeah. I need to counter what Tommy Robinson said about murders in the United States.
Yeah.
The total number of murders committed by illegal immigrants, according to the Custom and Border Patrol, was 23 in total for 2025.
Just 23 too much. So that's a bit less than 66%, isn't it?
Right. There were approximately 14,000 murders in the U.S. last year, which is down historically for us, but damn, his math is bad.
I love the. I mean, that's possibly the finest piece of music you presented to us, after the monkey bollocks thing. And that was Justin Nazi singing his soon to be chart track.
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
You're gonna get a strike.
You know, that wasn't the worst example. There were other clips I found on Twitter where there were 2 or 3 other clips of him just making a complete pig's ear of his musical performance. Just terrible. And they have that band every time. I think this is the 3rd or 4th, maybe even the 5th one that they've done.
oh my god! There's somewhere in some studio somewhere. There's an absolutely fucking knackered auto-tune machine.
Right.
I mean, and also we also saw that young guy that you've had on here before. You know, when we
Young Bob.
Young Bob, yeah, saying we want re-immigration and mass deportation.
Right.
What a fucking... I mean, actually, thinking about it, those songs, you know, there was a perfect analogy for the day. Just some out-of-tune people shouting, you know...
Right.
What we thought was music to an out-of-tune audience.
And they're just... I mean, there's all these delusional claims about how many people were there. They were saying there were millions, and the 2.5 million is one of the figures that they've come up with, and
sure,
you know, which is still even if it were true, would still be bad for them because they claimed there were 3 million last time. So if there's only 2 or 2.5 this time, they're down by 30%. Which I think is actually probably accurate. I think they are down by about 30%, but from their 125,000 that they had last time.
Yeah, I mean the fact that the fact that you showed some clips there of some obviously drunk guys, because there was obviously going to be a lot of drunkards there on that day, because if they're not walking, they get bored and they start drinking. But what you see in the conversation that guy had to about who they were against, who they wanted to get out, it's the same as everyone you speak to. There's a level in which the undercurrent is get rid of everybody who's not white.
Right.
Immediately kill them, whatever, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay, right. But of course they can't say that, or they understand as they're saying it that they're wrestling with their unpleasantness and their
Right.
and their unpalatability. So they're dropping things like, oh, just the ones who haven't got passports. Oh yeah, no, everybody else is fine, but not the ideology, not what they think. It was just back and forth between trying to be platitudinally reasonable and actually just being a complete fucking awful person underneath.
Right.
They don't even know they're doing it, do they, anymore?
That guy who was undercover who said the thing about black people. And straight away they were there. And they do all of this thing about they have all these black people on stage and they have Based and Bougie on. She's always there. And, we're not racist, but you only have to scratch the surface. And they are. And what gets me is, with these, because it's quite a trend, of black content creators. I spent the day with the racists and they aren't really racist. Well, I mean, they are. It's just we've legislated and educated and they've had to learn to behave in an acceptable manner. But they haven't changed their view. And it isn't a new generation. They're the same people. It's only like I think it was like, when was it? Like 2010 or something. Some black kid was chased down in Birmingham by a gang of white kids and adults. Chased him down and murdered him. They're still throwing bananas onto football pitches at black players and making monkey noises. All of that, where do they think those people are? They think they didn't go to that rally. Of course those people were there,
This is it. The drunken toothless Tommy there is old enough to have been in that, the BNP and the National Front probably.
Right, exactly. And they're all the same people. They're not they're not the sons of those people. They're those people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The Stephen Lawrence thing and, all of that, and it just, I despair sometimes that these young black people who are like celebrating, they're just patriotic.
Yeah.
No, they're fucking not.
I did see a photograph someone actually put up because there was lots of flags out. There was one guy carrying one of those flexi poles that they have at like festivals with, which are very tall.
Right.
And on it he had the Union Jack, the St. George's Cross, the Scottish Saltire, and he had the Welsh Dragon. And at the bottom he had the Iranian flag.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that thinking, holy fucking shit. Can you imagine someone carrying it? It wasn't long ago in our lifetimes that a British policewoman got shot by someone firing at the Iranian embassy.
Right.
I mean, and Iranian terrorism has been a scourge of Europe.
Yeah, but their angle is, you see, their angle is that they're supporting the people of Iran, and that flag that they fly is like the Shah's flag. It has the Shah's crest in it. And so what they say is they are supporting the people of Iran and the Shah's son, Reza Pav something, I can't remember his name. But they're supporting him because they want to overthrow the Muslim fundamentalists that are the result of the Islamic Revolution in 1979, So that's why they support them, because essentially they're anti-Muslim fundamentalism. I know, it's complicated, isn't it? It's very complicated.
Oh, God, they're so angry about so many things, aren't they?
I know. Also at the rally was our old friend and flagshagger-in-chief, Ryan Bridge. But not for long. He was rounded up on arrival and arrested for an incident that took place on one of his flag-hanging missions. Here are a few clips to tell his story.
I'm the only one he hasn't shaken hands with. Ryan, where's Ryan? Ryan, you want to watch here?
I know I'm going to get grabbed. I know.
Have you got rid of that?
So go on, Fox.
Box formation, guys.
Box formation.
Box formation.
Box formation.
Box it now.
Nobody move. Nobody move.
Why?
Do it right. Kill him, Kellen. Kellen.
Crazy colours is getting nicked. Get him. Wankers. Well, Crazy colours getting nicked. Here we go. What are you doing? Ryan! Ryan! Why are you fucking nicking him? Why are you nicking him? Why are you nicking him? Hey! Why the fuck are you nicking him? What has he done? What has he fucking done? What has he fucking done? Why are you nicking him? Why are you nicking him? Hey! Why are you nicking him? Why are you nicking him? Hey! Fucking pig cunts! Fucking traitors! You fucking traitors! You fucking traitor cunts! You fucking traitor cunts! You cunts! Fucking cunts! Mate, you should...
And what party is he from?
Labour.
The local MP for Sturchley, Al Khan's from Sturchley. What's he calling for, sorry?
Labour Party, yeah. Do you want me to read out what he's posted?
Yeah, where's he posted this?
He's posted something on Twitter.
All
right. Which says, give me 10 seconds and I will just get it up. So his message on Twitter says, I'm seriously concerned by reports of intimidation and violence in Sturchley yesterday, and I've written to the West Midlands Police to highlight my concerns. The Union Jack is a symbol of unity, not division, of patriotism, not polarisation. I condemn all attempts to hijack our flag and sow violence in our communities for political gain. And he says in a letter, we raise the colours in Sturchley. I'm writing about recent events in Sturchley involving the group Raise the Colours and the issues being raised with me by my constituents. My office has heard from dozens of residents whose accounts describe incidents of harassment, intimidation and assault by members of this group, many of whom are not from Birmingham. Video evidence of these incidents is being shared online. And he basically then goes on to say to the police, what is the scope for the police and the council to work together on preventative measures, including the kind of injunctions on unauthorised flag displays that have been used elsewhere in the country.
Right. I mean, this guy, right. I mean, hijacking flags and stuff like that. I believe the ultra-far left from Sturchley, I think they're attached to Birmingham Antifa or Anti-Fascist Birmingham or something like that. They had actually metal poles with barbed wire, so I believe, but it wasn't...
Well, I saw your live stream, so yeah, I saw
I mean, just to clarify, those metal poles with barbed wire, they are probably what he means by hijacking the flag. I'd say it was vandalism of the flag, or
what he's talking about, right?
or defacing the flag of their country. I mean, that's treason, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know if you know Al Khan's.
Never heard of Al Khan's in my life.
He's the Minister for the Armed Forces. He's a highly decorated Royal Marine.
Wow, well, our armed forces is completely on its knees because the former Royal Marine commandos, we used to have 7,800, whereas now we've only got 2,800 because they're not actually allowed to do their job, which is protect our borders.
Believe me, mate, you're live on Facebook, mate. Believe me. Fucking disgrace. Absolute disgrace, mate. Fucking lot of you. Oh, I've got the street.
I'm just really upset that people do not want to join us in making this a family-based community thing.
Load of lefties. Right. Let us know. If you want a massive protest down here, you can have one. These cunts can have it as well. So we'll have these now as well. These fucking pricks. Here we are. Don't worry, I'm here, everybody. Here we go. You're going to love these. These cunts. Come out of there.
So that was Ryan Bridge. I hope that kind of made sense.
He got arrested for flags.
Yeah, well, he got arrested for that incident where he pulled somebody's mask off and that sort of thing. Although there is some doubt as to whether that was actually him, because that person was wearing a mask, weren't they? So I don't know. But anyway, that's what he got busted for. And
Family events.
Yeah, and he's going on about hijacking the flag. He means where they've got a pole with barbed wire on, which they use to wrap the flag around to rip them down. But then he goes and puts up flags like I showed there with "Stop the boats" and "Save our women and children" written all across the front of the flag, and he doesn't see that as that doesn't end. No, it's someone with a pole with barbed wire on when they say hijacking the flag. That's what they mean. I mean, it's
the Union Jack is the Union Jack and the Stars and Stripes are exactly the same. It's not defacing it if you're putting stuff on if you're right wing.
Right.
It's patriotism.
Right.
It's when someone puts a message on it you don't like. That's clearly defacement.
I mean, it just doesn't. It just doesn't enter his head. I mean, he had one where they did this. It was some building that was under construction. They got scaffolding up. And he managed to get permission somehow to put this flag up. And he had this huge Union Jack with "Stop the Boats" written across it. And then raisethecolors.org.uk as well on the bottom,
So he had to deface the flag to tell people not to deface the flag.
Right. I mean, he's totally hijacking it, completely hijacking it. And obviously defacing it. I mean, it just doesn't enter his head. It's weird. I mean, it
is a bit.
I kind of feel sorry for him in a way, because he's sort of. I don't think he's evil. I think he's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they think they're on the right track. Yeah, they're surrounded by people that tell them they're on the right track, and the rest of the world, when it behaves in this way, flabbergast them.
Right. Right.
And they think the rest of the, and they end up thinking the rest of the world is subverted and deviant, and it is clearly enabling what he sees as a catastrophe.
It's weird, isn't it? It's really weird.
Because he just looks like a normal bloke you'd meet down the pub.
He's pretty wealthy, I don't know what he's done. Oh yeah, he was involved in some sort of like some holiday finance scam. No, what it was him and some other people were involved in convincing holiday makers in Spain to make claims against hotels that they were staying in, like injury claims for illness, saying that the hotel had given them food poisoning. And he was involved in this, and he's actually wanted in Spain. I don't know why they haven't extradited him, but yeah, he was involved in this scam where they were getting people to put in these claims, and I think that they were taking a slice of it, sort of thing.
Brilliant.
But they convinced, I think dozens of people to do this.
Yeah, that's what happens when you eat ceviche in Spain.
Okay, time for some proper conspiratarding now. Witsit is predicting a plandemic 2.0 featuring hantavirus, of course. But before that, he has a theory about female hairdressers.
Okay, anyway. I was just telling you guys the quick story. I think there's some temptation of this demon that takes women over when they're cutting your hair, and they want to cut all your hair off. That's all I'm saying. They just want to cut all your hair off. They feel like they have power. And I'm gonna be real. Man. You got to be careful. When women have power, you got to be careful. Not all women. Just like I don't got to say not all Jews all the time, obviously, right? But I'm just saying, I'm going to say that Europe and Canada, they have lots of women in power, okay? And then they have not the best situation, right? Because they're more prone to an egalitarian communitarian, I guess you could say, empathetic perspective. We got Plandemic 2.0. And probably important for people to go ahead and jump out in front of it and start talking about it before you can't, right? I mean, well, I don't know how that'll go. I mean, if last year or like last time we had a pandemic, bro, they were all over you. But I mean, I remember as soon as they started talking about lockdowns, I did a live stream called Coronavirus, and we were just exposing everything. We had already found the documents. We had already found Operation Lockstep, right? We had already found the little like drill they went through where they just perfectly predicted the coronavirus pandemic. So we knew it was a scam, right? And it was a plan from the beginning. And then you had a couple weeks where you could talk. So if no one's heard, there's obviously like this story about this thing, the hantavirus, and there's like a cruise ship. This is the story. There's a cruise ship, and it's like this super long, cruise, and it goes from Argentina over to Antarctica, and it goes through all these different places. And some people got off and did a bird watching tour, I think in Argentina. We'll like hear the official story in a second. This is where they were believing they contracted this disease. Apparently this is some type of, viruses are fake and gay, but we'll cover that in a second, right? But supposedly this is a known virus that comes from like the feces of rats and mice. And supposedly this got kicked up in the air. They inhaled it. So it's a new type of strain of it that's airborne. And then they contracted the illness, got back on the boat. And there's 129 people on there. And then multiple people are dying. And then they're clearly setting this up though. They got the cruise ship going all around the world, right? So all around through Europe. And then they got people getting off the cruise ship, then getting on a plane, and then finding out that they're sick, going to the hospital and dying. A couple other people being hospitalized. So now they're like, oh, who got in contact with them on the plane? But then people are saying, no, we know about this virus and it's not easily transmitted human to human. But then they're starting to see this other narrative that like, oh, this is a different type that is possibly, right? Blah, blah, blah. And you guys, dude, this is like, it's like PTSD, dude. If you remember the stuff from COVID, how could you forget? It was just constant propaganda and pseudoscience and having to keep up with all the stories and go through it. And it was just constantly moving the goalposts. And every couple of days, it was something new. It was just nonstop BS, right? It was just ridiculous. But they have like the perfect storyline here, right? Because you got the cruise ship going all over the place. You got the people already taking off, getting in contact with other people before they knew about it. So then they were spreading it. They're saying it's got a 40 to 50% fatality rate. And dude, I'm just cautioning people from like just repeating these talking points as though they're facts, right? I mean, that's what they want you to do. You got like the International Vaccine Organization or whatever it's called, predicting that hantavirus will be the next pandemic. And we're gonna cover a lot of this. But this is the crazy part, right? You got the World Cup coming up. All these people are going to be like in the United States from all over Europe. So they've set the stage perfect, like just leak this story. And it's super sus. Like when we look into it, it's the whole story is super sus. And we're going to look into it. So you won't have to go around trying to find out what's going on. Well, I'll show you what's going on. And it's not added up, to say the least, right? You got like one person making videos on there. They're in quarantine. So you remember Pfizer fought in court to prevent the release of their insert. So if you guys remember, they were passing the vaccine around, and the little, safety and efficacy insert that's in all these all vaccines was blank. Eventually it starts to come out, right? But they were fighting in court to keep it from all these internal documents, supposable clinical studies, safety studies, efficacy studies, from coming out for 75 years. Why would Pfizer be fighting in court to prevent their documents from coming out for 75 years? Why are they having to be sued to release the documents anyway? Right. And this is a rabbit hole. I don't want to talk a ton about COVID because, again, it's like it was like 2 years of my life where I traveled the United States constantly talking about it, trying to wake people up on a literal microphone in like every major city. So it's kind of annoying, right? But I mean, if this is the world we live in and we got to expose virology, again, it is what it is. We should be pretty prepped for it. Now, a huge thing that a lot of people found out because of COVID is viruses are fake and gay. Yes, viruses are fake and gay. Viruses are complete pseudoscience. There's no evidence for it whatsoever, and we'll cover that in just a second. But my point is, for those who did get their hand on that nifty little insert and some of those internal documents, what do you know is one of the claimed side effects and ingredients? I believe it's a supposed side effect of the COVID vaccine, hantavirus. Now, I have a stream back in the day. It's called Zombies, and I cover, a lot of stuff. How there's one part of the vaccines that is patented, and specifically the little carrier agents that they put inside the vaccines, and this was in all of the vaccines, right? They didn't have to reveal what those were, exactly what it was. And they had, protections afforded to them because of the emergency authorization. So it was fast tracked. So they were allowed to keep this intellectual property private, which was their argument, was like, okay, we're going to step up and help everyone and save them with our, new technology. We shouldn't have to reveal exactly what we use. And so they afforded them protection. Come to find out, all the vaccines use the same one from the same manufacturer in China, and you have the little nanoparticles. And I started falling down that rabbit hole. And again, if you watch my stream Zombies, I show you all the documents. I provide all the documents. There is an abundance of studies where people would take mRNA vaccines. They would have little nanoparticles injected into the host, and say they would be iron encapsulated nanoparticles. Whenever they came into contact with a certain frequency for a certain duration, so like 10-second, 27 megahertz, whatever it was, right? Little 10-second bursts of that frequency. What it did was interact with the iron encapsulated nanoparticle. It would swell it up, right? And it would become semi-permeable, and whatever was inside of it would then be released into the host. And they were doing this supposedly to look into like remote drug delivery, right? And it was successful, meaning that you could go get a shot, and then every week, Friday at 10 a.m., you got your next dose of that medicine remotely, right? Pretty crazy, because we now know there are iron encapsulated nanoparticles in all these people that took that jab, and you would never know what's inside of it. That admittedly, they didn't have to tell you what was inside of it. They didn't have to tell you the elemental composition of it. That's pretty wild, right? And of course, they shut everything down and they rolled out 5G. So you have like the proximity of these towers with a much higher spectrum of frequencies that they operate on everywhere. So that's a pretty crazy situation. So when you're talking about like the COVID vaccines having hantavirus in the internal documents, it's like, that's pretty weird.
That's pretty weird.
But pretty weird that he doesn't think hantavirus was around before COVID.
Yeah. What utter gibberish that was.
Did you want to add something?
Nobody else got anything to say about it?
I just said there's just so much there to unpack, isn't there? Really?
Yeah,
I was going to say, did Witsit look different? It looked like the left side of his mouth was drooping the entire time.
He's always had that going on, hasn't he? I think.
I don't think so. I've never seen him look like that before.
Oh, okay.
No.
I mean, 5G isn't a bigger range of signals than 4G. It's using all the ones that 4G did and a little bit more. But I mean, 4G, it's just there's the extra bit at the top is not in any way different to any other part of the thing. And why do they? It's convinced that we've all got something locked inside us. They're going to. I mean, it's been 5 fucking years. What are they waiting for?
And he referenced his own video, Zombies, where he thought that we were all going to be turned into zombies when they broadcast that emergency broadcast signal. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And good news about hantavirus, they've actually counted down the number of people who actually have caught it, but now one person in Canada has it.
Oh.
So now it's only 10 people, but 3 have died.
Oh, dear.
I'll go get my hair cut soon. I'm just going to make sure it's a man that cuts it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit worrying,
otherwise, you can cut all your hair off.
Take all my powers away. If having no hair takes all your powers away, then how come most CEOs and most retiring businessmen have got no hair, and everybody that's in the office who's running around stapling bits of paper and making the coffee and doing all the horrific jobs have got tons of hair?
Yeah.
How does this work?
I've still got a full head of hair and no power whatsoever.
I'm losing my hair and I can be getting slightly more power, but that's another story. But I mean, this is the nonsense that he thinks women have got this innate thing where they want to cut all your hair off. It's very, very Samson Delilah-esque, isn't it?
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Well, maybe we need to stop getting women cutting our hair. Maybe that's why we go bald.
I think it's true. Isn't it true? Did I hear this somewhere? That it wasn't Delilah that cut Samson's hair. I'm sure this is one of those pub bets that you can make.
Is it?
I think did she maybe order someone to do it?
Oh.
Hang on, I'm going to Google it.
She called in a Philistine servant to shave off his 7 braids, so she didn't do it herself.
Ah, there you go, you see.
Oh, it was a servant.
So I could have had a bet with you all, couldn't I?
You could have done that, yeah.
And I could have made a few
Hang on.
quid. Speaking of making
What's
a few
it-
quid,
what-
if you're enjoying the show and you'd like to reward me for my efforts in making it, please feel free to super chat the show and I will read out your super chat. Or even better, bung us a few quid on my PayPal, which I am now posting. And then I get all your money and Google don't get any. So that would be wonderful. Anyway, thank you very much for that. Sorry, were you going to say something, Paz?
What was, I think?
No, I was saying something. It was
go ahead,
Paz. Just wondering what sex was this person that was ordered to cut his hair?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a woman?
Oh, shit.
I mean, it probably was a woman if it was her servant.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
They don't like male servants for the ladies, you know?
Yeah.
Because they could do stuff.
Yeah, that's
makes sense.
Fair point. So it's a good chance a woman still did it.
All right.
Oh no! Hang on. It says online. Delilah lulled him into sleep on her lap, and she called for a manservant to shave off 7 locks of his hair.
Oh.
Well,
Oh,
I'm still
wow.
going to get my hair cut tomorrow, and it's going to be by a guy now. Thank you, Witsit.
Okay, was the manservant trans?
At least a eunuch.
All right, a few flat Earth TikToks now. Enjoy.
The
Oh no!
is
Hang
flat.
on, stop.
It's so flat if you think about it.
Let me do a different introduction. It's flat Earth all the way down now, starting with the newest and, dare I say, the greatest ever. Flat
When you're
Earth.
driving or you're walking, it's flat. So it's really common sense. You know, I did so well with the flat earthers. The flat earthers voted for me 99%, if you can imagine that, right? There's a few of stupid ones out there, but that's okay. They knew the truth. Biden, he didn't even know if the ground below him was flat. And I told Elon, I said, Elon, are all the rockets fake? He said, sir, they are not fake, but I can't get through the firmament. They call it the firmament. It's a dome that's over the planet. It's like a snow globe, if you can think of it, especially when it's snowing. In space, the stars and other things, it's actually a painting on top of the dome. Now, I don't know who did all of this. But we're going to find out. You know, they mentioned the firmament in the Bible. No one knows the Bible more than me. He sends the rockets out, and they make this crazy ghost cloud. That's what he's trying to get through the firmament. So it's really a sad situation, and I said, I'm the only person ever that can fix this because I'll break through the firmament. So first, we went to the edge to break through the firmament. You have to imagine this. There's a giant ice wall. I saw it myself. I was freezing. I look up, and there's a huge ice wall the size of Mount Everest. You wouldn't believe it, so you can't get over the edge. Even the polar bears are like, sir, you can't make it over the edge. We've been down here for millions of years. So I said, let us handle this. We brought the Navy. We had aircraft carriers. We brought the Air Force. We brought the Space Force. We sent so many missiles into the same spot of the firmament, I'm saying for days. And we broke through a little hole, and nobody knows holes more than me. It was a holy moment, if you could believe it, right? And we sent our best astronauts through Space Force. We sent our best people. Central casting. These guys were so handsome. And you might ask me, why are we sending them through? because there's a reset button, a teeny tiny reset button. It's really a huge reset button, but in relative terms to the Earth, you know, when you grab something and there's a little mini reset button, you need a toothpick. In this case, we needed a giant toothpick because nothing else is going to save. I thought I could save the world, but I couldn't do it. And we need to straighten things out. So we brought a giant toothpick through the hole with Space Force, and we hit that button like no one's ever hit it before. You have to reset. The Earth is a mess. And so the greatest reset is happening right now on the planet. They said it was impossible, but we made it through. And because we hit the reset button, the Earth will be made great again.
They're clever, those, aren't they?
Amazing.
Yeah. They made one tiny error, though.
What was that?
The polar bears didn't say, "Sir, we haven't been able to get over this wall for 6,000 years."
Yeah. I thought the error they did, though, really, was that, you know, they got Trump quite well, but he finished all of his sentences, and that's not Trump, is it?
Not at all.
It needs to be more incoherent.
Yeah, and this character obviously is a scam. He doesn't look like he's about to fall asleep at any moment, does he? Through these things.
No,
Right.
He looks young and vibrant.
And the ice wall is in the South Pole. There's no polar bears down there, right?
Yeah, good point. That is a good point.
I hadn't even spotted that one.
He should have been talking to the penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, as I said for the last clip, a few Flat Earth TikToks now. Enjoy.
Being a flat earther in 2026 has got to be really hard, because it turns out that every conspiracy theory that we've ever thought up has pretty much just come to be true, except for yours. This planet is still round.
Hi, I'm a flat earther, and yes, it is 2026, and I've been a flat earther since 2021. With all this other stuff coming true, it just makes... What? And you're saying that flat earth is not true? I'm sorry, flat earth is the first one that's true, and then you learn about all the rest of them. So go do some research and figure it out, because the earth is flat. Literally, we are living in Revelation chapter 22 as we speak. Y'all go read your Bibles.
You won't believe what I found when I watched this spacewalk. So the astronauts are right over Israel, looking down at Cairo, Egypt, and the Nile River. But do you notice just how much curvature that they're showing us in that spacewalk? So I decided to go to Google Earth and zoom in on Israel and Cairo and the Nile River. And do you see how small it is on Google Earth versus how large it is in this spacewalk? It makes you wonder, how is it possible that the Nile River is taking up so much of the curvature of the globe? And what's even crazier is I decided to listen to some of the audio on one of these spacewalks, and I found something extremely, extremely suspicious. Why don't we listen in and see what's going on? Doesn't it look and sound like the astronauts are literally moving around underwater? Now, I understand that they're technically in low Earth orbit, but they're pretty much in space. How do we hear all of that sound? And why does it sound like it's literally traveling underwater?
According to NASA themselves, the moon is in the exosphere. It's in the outermost layer of our atmosphere, of Earth's atmosphere. So it's not in outer space, and that's a whole nother video. But this is a picture of Venus passing in front of the moon. So Venus, a planet that is much, much farther than the exosphere is said to be, is passing in front of a celestial body within the exosphere. So this obviously doesn't make sense according to NASA's logic. So you ask why it's happening according to NASA. They start explaining that the moon is actually hiding Venus. So the AI is regurgitating NASA, and it's telling me that Venus is actually going behind the moon. Now, from our perspective. Now, obviously this is not happening. So I said, it's not the moon passing in front of Venus from our perspective. It's Venus passing in front of the moon from our perspective. And then it literally says, I get why you're saying that. The photo looks exactly like Venus is crossing in front of the moon. But here's the key thing. According to NASA, that scenario cannot physically happen. Why Venus cannot pass in front of the moon? NASA's position is unambiguous. Venus is tens of millions of miles farther away than the moon. The moon is only about 240,000 miles away. Because of this enormous distance difference, Venus can never physically cross in front of the moon from the Earth's perspective. So even if your eyes or camera make it look like Venus is in front, NASA explains that this is a projection illusion. Not an actual foreground crossing. So the funniest thing is that when NASA's completely wrong about something, they start telling you that something is an illusion. When Venus appears to touch or overlap the moon, it is always behind the moon, never in front. The illusion of Venus being on top of or in front of the moon happens because Venus is extremely bright. Venus has not yet reached the moon's actual edge. You just can't see that edge. So they're saying that we can't see this edge, okay? Now, even with this shitty camera, you can see the edge right there. It's clear. Exactly where the edge is. And Venus is right on top, within this circumference. Venus is not that far away. Venus is closer to Earth than the moon is.
Oh, the levels of arrogance are just astounding, aren't they? Sitting there giggling about, when NASA are wrong, they just tell you it's an illusion. Never occurs to him for a moment that it might be him that's wrong.
I mean, you can pick up lots of useful astronomy tips on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's brilliant for this kind of stuff.
I mean, you could literally, I guess what was happening there was that was a reflection that he's seeing, and because you could see another bright light to the right of the moon, couldn't you?
Yeah. He's Dunning-Kruger all the way.
So that's what I was thought was happening. Yeah, isn't he? Just totally, just sitting there giggling at the explanation. And just, like I say, just never crosses his mind that he might be wrong. All right, a few more Flat Earth TikToks now, starting with the best and then the worst dressed Flat Earthers.
Science is a lie, fake. What science calls a theory is just a label backed by authority. I could make one too, and you could make one too, and a random homeless guy on the street could make one too. Einstein, Newton, Charles Darwin. The only scientist was Nikola Tesla. He's the real one. From my perspective, the world seems too incredibly stupid.
This footage is coming in from an African fella. He's called Zeratotails. Now, he says in the video that this is as south as you can possibly go. And he's found an ice wall. He's found Argentinians settled there. He said there's loads of action in the water. They're getting their signal jammed all the time. He's tried to live stream, but it keeps getting cut off. If you go and watch his footage for yourself, he keeps saying that he's completely surprised by what he's finding. He feels like he's got to the end of the earth. He feels like he's closer to the sky, like he's in some sort of big dome. And we've gone past caring what the BBC and David Attenborough want to tell us about Antarctica. This guy's there, and everything that he's seeing and documenting doesn't correlate with what we're being told. Incredible footage coming in from this creator. Keep it coming. Keep on exposing the lie. There's a reason why they don't want loads of us going there and seeing what's going on. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
After all these years, if you believe that the earth is round, and you are dead set against any kind of a narrative otherwise, ask yourself, why? Why? Why do you fight it? Why do you get so mad when people say something other than what you have learned all your life? Because we have all been there. Every single one of us. We were all indoctrinated. We were all lied to. We were all brainwashed. But ask yourself, why? Why do I care so much about being against this that I won't even look into it? And if you have looked into it and you still don't believe, well, you've not looked into it. There is so much evidence that NASA has lied. If you don't even know their name, the name NASA means to deceive. You know how they say T minus 5? Well, we never knew why they said that. They just said T minus 5, 4, 3, 2. Do you know what that means? That is, if you T minus is them. NASA is T minus. Because if you add a T to NASA and flip the letters around, you get Satan.
Hey, I'm still cruising here for a hot minute before I go to work. Hey, do you guys know one of the quickest and easiest ways to spread the flat earth without actually opening your mouth? Tell you what, man, why don't you go ahead and get yourself some 3x5 cards, really inexpensive, really cheap. I wouldn't recommend buying tacks. I would recommend buying a stapler, so you can just staple that shit to every single bulletin board that you can find. Guess what? If they see it, it's in their mind, right? If it's in their mind, it may not be at the forefront of their mind, but just for a hot second, it was at the forefront of their mind. So if you really want to help the flat earth out, go get yourself some 3x5 cards and a stapler. All I want you to do is write on the 3x5 card. You don't have to write scripture, you don't have to write anything like that. Just a bold, simple statement like I posted on the yard signs that I put out that keep getting stolen. True story, they keep getting stolen. The one I put out took a week and a half for somebody to steal it. The second one I put out right across the street from where I stay up here in Springfield, it got stolen in a day and a half. Yeah. I thought the wind blew the first one away, but the second one was clarification. Somebody did not like what I was saying. So that means if you just take a stapler and you write "the earth is flat" on a 3x5 card, "the earth is flat," black magic marker, preferably a Sharpie, "the earth is flat," and then you staple that to pretty much every bulletin board that you come across, which they are everywhere. Sooner or later, that message is going to drip down, especially if it's in your community and they go around, they look at all these bulletin boards and they see the same damn thing. They're like, who's doing that? Well, wouldn't you like to know? Chicken Little out.
So I put 2 magnets on either side of each other in a bowl of water and froze it to see what would happen. I had no idea what I expected. However, I'm curious if anybody can explain, why is there an air bubble with dog hair on the bottom of it?
Can anyone explain that? I can't.
Yes.
Yeah, I can explain that.
Magical.
No, I can explain that. If you look at what's frozen, the magnets are at the top when he first shows it, which clearly shows he put water in a tub with 2 magnets either side, put a lid on and turned it upside down.
Ah, right.
Otherwise, why would the magnets be at the top of his ice? They're made of metal.
Yeah, makes sense. Good one. And then there was the T-minus lady.
Oh God.
Can't spell Satan, can she?
Yeah.
Cheyenne, Nebraska, going T. There's a T. They say T minus, and so T. Forget the minus. To T plus.
Yeah. I know. It's plus. That would be adding it, not minusing it. And also, she said when they say T minus 5, and interestingly, that's the only one they don't say. They miss out 5. They go 6, and then they do a pause, and they go 4, because I think probably from the earlier days of rocketry, they always missed it out in case it was mistaken for the word fire.
Right.
And they went too early, so they always miss out 5.
She said they say T minus 5, and nobody knows why. Well, I think you find fucking NASA know where they say T minus, and they also say T plus.
Yeah.
But people are paying less attention to that because they're just too busy looking up.
Oh God!
I mean, you could see her mind. You could literally see her mind ticking over.
Oh no!
Her facial expression. It's almost like the neurons in her head that were involved in the deep thought had just relinquished all the functions of her face for a bit.
But she's one of those people. You know when they say, "Oh, like they're all just trolls." She obviously completely believes it. You know when she says, "Well, if you haven't, if you've looked into it and you're not a flat earther, you haven't looked into it." She obviously really definitely believes it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, the bloke putting out little cards saying the Earth is flat. He believes it too. He's the classic.
Yeah.
He's the classic. I know a secret that no one else knows. He loves the idea of playing up to the Chicken Little role.
Right, doesn't he? Yeah.
Their hope. It's those ones are always invariably men, middle-aged men.
Yeah.
It's just you look at me and think, oh my God, man, come on. Come up with a novel idea. Why don't you just write it down somewhere and leave it for people to read? Oh, that'll work.
Yeah.
That's going to completely penetrate the psyche of entire civilization. When they go to see a billboard, lost cat, and there we are. The Earth's flat. Fuck me, I've got to go check that out.
Or as Zep Tepe suggested in the chat, you could just tattoo "the Earth is flat" on your forehead. Then you'd be advertising it, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd at least think whoever wrote. I mean, if you see that, you'd at least think that the author is more compelled of the notion, possibly investigate for that reason. Hello.
Yeah, he's very committed to that idea, isn't he?
Isn't he just?
All right then, Globebusters recently delivered us a new flat Earth model, which isn't very new really, brought to you by fake Dr. Stephen Alonso.
Every day, no matter where you are or where you think you live, you look up and you see the sky move. The sun traces an arc across it, the stars rise in the east, wheel overhead, and then disappear in the west. The moon follows its own path, the planets drift slowly against the background of stars, and if you stay up long enough and pay attention, you start to notice patterns, rhythms that repeat with extraordinary precision over days, months, and years. You don't need a theory to observe any of that, you just need to look. But somewhere between that observation and the explanation for it, a set of assumptions gets quietly inserted. A specific size for Earth, perhaps, a specific distance to the sun, a particular geometry that frames everything you're seeing before you've even had a chance to ask whether it independently fits. What if you could remove all that and start again with just the observer? That's the entire foundation of this ether cosmology conceptual model. It's built around a single observer, you, where you're standing, what you can see from there, and the geometry of the sky as it actually appears from your position on Earth. It's something that's easy to forget. Again, every observer on Earth, regardless of where they are, sees exactly half the sky at any given moment. Nobody sees the whole sky. Everyone sees half. A hemisphere of observation that's unique to your position and your time. The sky you see from New York tonight is not the sky you see from Sydney. The sun they're watching set, you're watching rise. The stars visible to you are below their horizon. You each have your own dome of vision, your own apparent sky, and your own personally observable hemisphere. The argument between the models is based around what produces that distinction, right? The globe argues that the hemisphere is created by physical Earth curvature coming up and blocking out that half of the sky. And the argument from the other side, I think, would be that it's an optical convergence, so where the sky meets the ground, and that humans cannot see forever and over great distances. The natural acuity limit means that you'll eventually be unable to see any further, and the optical convergence of the sky and the ground meet, and that's not due to ground curvature. So, the observer-centric reality is what this model is built on. Ether cosmology here places you at the center of that dome. You choose your coordinates, your latitude, longitude, elevation, get your direction, you field of view, and then you watch the sky respond. It has two distinct layers, and the separation between them matters. First is the optical vault. That's what you see when you actually look up, the apparent position of the celestial objects as they appear to you from your location. The arc that the sun makes as it rises and crosses the sky, the low crescent in the winter, high one in the summer, symmetrical line if you happen to be exactly at the equator, the rotation of the stars around a polar convergence point overhead, the moon's path, the wandering of the planets against the fixed background stars, all of it rendered in a first-person vantage point exactly as any observer at those coordinates would perceive it. Second layer is true positions. You do have to toggle it on, and then you'll see the geographic calculated position, which is in the terrestrial sphere on the graticule, which is the terrestrial equivalent of the celestial sphere. And again, they typically call them ground positions, but it's defined first within the celestial coordinates using right ascension declination, and then translated to the appropriate latitude, longitude, via the one-for-one relationship of the terrestrial to the celestial spheres we went over, put forth by Ptolemy. And this model enveloping that principle, showing you the apparent and then the transcribed calculated geographic. And so it's also the apparent position that the same system every nautical almanac used, every real-world navigation technique, altitude, lines of corrections, lines of position, entirely based on this apparent position. The true position is always the derived layer in abstraction, never the directly measured one. And this model shows you both clearly separated, so you can always see exactly which is which. In terms of what you can do with it, you have full control. You can scroll through the time of day, a week, a year. It real-time syncs to everything now. It shows every eclipse that's ever happened. You can watch the sun's path, took any of the demos that shows 24-hour sun and moon analemma demonstrations, observer traveling north and south on the model, moon phases over a month, winter solstice, summer solstice, equinox, daylight, sunset, 24-hour sun, etc., etc. You have control to turn on any of these options, the moon, the sun, specific stars, tracking, satellite tracking, in-star catalogs, multiple astronomical calculation engines, multiple ephemerises, geocentric, heliocentric ephemerises, and it's all at your disposal to turn on and off and see the effect it makes when the data pipeline is reduced to right ascension declination derived in a unit sphere, which amounts to direction and a magnitude. So unit vector on a sphere. And again, all of it, every calculation, every predicted position, every arc, every angle is derived without a single physical unit, no globe radius, no globe parameters, no distance to the sun, no circumference, etc., etc. In fact, no miles, no meters per second. Then it works entirely based on the unit sphere, directions expressed as unit vectors, angles as ratios on a unit circle. The positions of objects in the sky are resolved as pure angular coordinates, azimuth and altitude, which tell you where to look and nothing else. No assumption about how far away what you're looking at is. No assumption about how large anything is. Only the direction and the angle. Here's where it gets interesting. When the system strips out every physical constant and reduces itself entirely to directions and proportional relationships, which is what we argue they did with the globe, what you're left isn't less a complete model, and in one sense, you're looking at a more honest one. It turns out that the constants you'd be tempted to insert aren't independently measured at all. They're all derived in ratios of each other. Distance to the sun, size of the sun, orbital periods, the gravitational constant. These are not separately confirmed quantities that happen to agree. They're self-consistent web ratios that were built to agree, because they was only ever based on real observation, and everything else is what you get when you manipulate the formula to fit it. As we argue all the time, right? Kepler didn't measure the distance to the sun. He established a relationship between period and orbital radius. Bradley didn't need the AU to calculate aberration. The radius term dropped out from his math entirely. You're left with a ratio of velocities expressed with timing. And the system works because relationships and ratios are constant and consistent, not because the absolute values were measured. And this model is showing you exactly that. We don't tell you what the sky is. We don't claim to know the dynamic cause of what moves everything in the universe or what's moving everything in the sky. What we're showing you is what an observer sees, clearly, interactively, foundational layers, and without inserting a single assumption about scale, size, distance. Remove the units, what remains are relationships. Come explore the model for yourself.
Nice.
Fantastic.
I think it sums it up nicely, right? Like
That's pretty hot, man. That's pretty hot.
Pretty hot. Apparently someone said that was Shane.
Yeah, I think it is.
And not Stephen Alonso. I couldn't be bothered to actually watch the episode to actually know.
Got to use Witsit to run for his money.
It's the usual mishmash. You've got your own personal dome of reference where you can only see half of it.
Right.
Half of it drops to the floor and disappears on the floor. And over the top, of course, they desperately want to show where these things are. They're not on the firmament anymore. Do you notice that? It's that dish, the disc, imaginary disc of everything floating above, because that's where the GPs are. You see, what's missing from all of this, and I've had a look at myself. One thing you can't do is you can't do a line of sight from where the sun appears in your personal demo reference up to the thing on the top there, because this is the point. This is the point. Just showing the personal hemisphere floating around, stellarium style, going over somehow disappearing into the ground is one thing, and showing a disc on the top where you're postulating these things are based on GP is another. But without any attempt to correlate them up in terms of where the light goes, you're lost, and you just can't shove a toroidal nonsense on top of it and just pretend that represents it, because it doesn't, does it?
Right. Yeah, wouldn't you be seeing stars twice? Wouldn't you be seeing your personal dome ones and the ones at the top? Or have I misunderstood that?
Oh, this is the point, isn't it? The ones, if you're looking at the sun in the top and you look at it on the horizon, then the light from the sun at the top there must come down in some curvy method, get to a point when it's lined up from where the other sun is, and then come into your eye.
Right.
So everything is bendy. What they're saying is everything is bendy light, but they're not going to show you the bendy light. They're not going to do that, because when they can show you that, and that looks impressive to morons.
Right.
But all the bendy light, which coincidentally is different bendy light for different people looking at the same thing at the same time. No one's got the same bendy light. So the whole sky becomes an absolute mishmash of curvy, bendy shit, all because someone doesn't want to actually, go along with the idea that we might just be looking at it in a straight line.
How does this explain a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? I thought he was saying it did, but I was wondering about that.
The black dot just changed, like the size and where it was, and there was no explanation for why it was only blocking out that area.
Well, they show the light for 72, I think 72 or 75 south. So they're kind of inferring Antarctica's there, but again, they got the old classical Gleason's underneath where it's the ice wall, and then there's an edge with the grassicule on it. So they're not coincidentally showing you their where's the GP of octans on that?
Right, exactly.
It's absolute. The plate at the top has got on it the dish, the rotating thing at the top is giving the GPS of all the northern stars, the sun and the wandering stars, the planets, and a couple of the bits of the zodiac going into the south. But rather conveniently, any stars that are kind of about, I don't know, less than sort of like 40 degrees south or around that thing, they're completely missed off. They're not worth showing on that.
Right.
It's just fucking gibberish. Which is what, like you say, it's all that effort with all that software and all that rendering and all those menus, and no line of sight for anything shown.
Right.
I just got here, so I didn't get to see it, but I assume you guys are you looking at something and considering the azimuthal grid of vision?
Exactly, yeah, something of that ilk, yeah.
That's on there. That's on there. That would work.
Excellent.
This is all based on observations, right? There's no measurements.
Right, that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
All right,
It's all right to make observations.
Space is now officially fake, and the debate is over, according to Lowry from Tinfoil Sombrero and Vlad from Ironworks 92,000, that is. Enjoy.
This would be a good time to talk about space. We've now officially come to the point that
talk about the scientists, man.
it's fake. We've actually come to a point where even some normies are out there just like, what is this bullshit about NASA? And we're kind of there now, Vlad, and I'm kind of in a position now where I'm like, how do we go forward in this? How do we go forward and explain kind of what's happening to people that are still NASA fanboys and or lost in the sauce, as it were?
Well, if you know how it is, man, if these people are serious about learning, like they'll eventually make their way to you. We need to keep doing what we're doing, but my thing is also to kind of tone down making fun of the globe. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's at a point to where it's like super serious. At least in my opinion, it's serious because the government's lying about everything every day, every single day. Like if you look at it, They're lying about something new every day, and it's like blatant. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's so crazy that it's like you have no choice but to investigate the other stuff. Donald Trump went on his Truth Social, and he even said the lies, like something along those lines, when they showed a picture of the Earth from a distance. And I'm like, these guys are giving the sauce away. So it's so I guess what we can do that's a little bit on the offensive side, one is to expose the globers and not talk shit about them, but rather say, hey, look, you know your government is lying to you because they lied about this. You know they lied about this Artemis thing, or at least it appears that they did. These guys are defending to the globers that are actually saying something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Call them out.
Because
You've had channels out there, like Bro Sanchez was out there calling out the globers that were actually, doing their due diligence and calling out the BS. But then you have the I guess you could say the Professor Daves and the Dave McKeegans that still are going to defend the BS, right? At that point, we don't cuss them out. We don't talk shit about them. We just say to his audience, their audience, like, look, you can keep following lies like this. Obviously, these are lies. You know what I'm saying? We've been telling you guys this for years. You can either continue with the lies and or continue to get lied to by your government, or you could come with us. You know what I'm saying? And try to figure something out. But the lies are doing they're doing everything for us for the most part. So
would you say that like what I've noticed over the last I guess 2 weeks is that the debate is literally over, and now how do we behave responsibly moving forward?
I told you so. Da, da, da.
Yeah,
that's not responsible, I know, but that's what I want to fucking do, you asshole.
I know it's what you want to do, but like, what do we really do? We're like, the debate's over. Here's what we've been telling you for 10 years, and look. This isn't Flat Earth 1.0. This is Flat Earth 2.0. This cosmology has been around for a long fucking time. And we have to fucking resurrect it just so that we can get our fucking lives back in order.
I think another thing we could do to kind of pair with this whole Artemis thing. I know a lot of people don't want to go back there, but talk about the final experiment.
Yeah,
we could kind of compare those apples to those apples.
Yeah, and the whole thing that whole thing was like so unnecessary. I was looking. I read Lady Blount's thing. There was a 24-hour sun out there wherever they were parked at on the shore. That was documented in 1901. I was like, okay, fine. I don't know how the fucking light works out there. And then now we have, this is going to be your big fucking come up to us. Is that there's a 24-hour sun? No, it's just how the fucking light works out there. I went through this thing for fucking years with this bullshit. I'm like, it's in public record. Lady Blount said there was a 24-hour sun out there.
Who the fuck is she? Who is she, Lowry?
The light, it's fucking in her cliff notes.
Who is she?
The light behaves a different way out there. It's I don't know what it is. It's an optical effect. It's something. I don't give a fuck what it is. It has nothing to do with what you're walking around on.
I don't even.
And I told them before they did this stupid fucking thing. I told Witsit. I told fucking Jared. I was like, dude, this is a dumb thing that you're doing. You're just gonna muck up this thing and make it last longer. Why are you doing this? That's what I said to him.
I guess it seems like what's his name was compromised and he needed a way out. I don't think Jaron was a Glober the whole time. I think he was compromised. Like I think he was seriously compromised.
Yeah. He's definitely off in the weeds, if nothing else.
Yeah, he's yesterday's news, man. I don't like.
Wait a second. Did you say it backwards? Not
again?
a flat earther the entire time. He was compromised later.
Yeah, I feel he was. I feel he
there
was.
there are some conversations that say he was in on it for 10 years. I mean, like I cannot tell you how much work he did to destroy NASA. He did do that, and so it's weird that he just suddenly flipped. It's really weird, dude. The same Glover thing. So I was like, Matt, and I liked what he did on what is a woman. I was like, that's smart. That is the smartest thing I've seen. And I was like, dude, you're smarter than this. And I approached him on the chats. I was like, you're smarter than this. Don't do this. Don't do this. This this won't age well. This won't age well.
This is stuff.
And he went through it anyway. He's done after this because it's going to finish. It's already done. I mean, like if you just look at the best way I can put it is you get a litmus test on like how many say cosmology texts come up on X versus Instagram versus Facebook versus everything else. It used to be like 1 out of every 7. 1 out of every 7 is a cosmology, and the last 2 weeks it's all cosmology. That's just a litmus test. Right, so like you can look at that over the course of a population and be like, okay, now people are thinking about it. Now people are thinking about it. They're like, oh fuck, this spinny water ball is not. It's
not, but you gotta look. You gotta look at the big picture, right? Like you still have the synagogue of Satan that's pushing the bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, the good old synagogue of Satan.
Pushing that bullshit.
It's only a
He
matter
doesn't
of
know how
time
the
before
sun
he gets
works. He doesn't know how the light works down in the south, but he knows it's flat.
It's how the light worked out there. That's his explanation.
I was thinking to myself, oh, this is refreshing. They've had a back and forth lasting 5 minutes and no one's mentioned the Jews. Oh, fuck.
yeah.
Isn't it?
I mean, didn't they think that a 24/7 sun would be a disproof? I mean, that's why Jaron went down there, got the evidence, and he believed the evidence.
I know.
So,
I mean, he's not being honest, Lowry, when he says that, because he says, "Oh, we knew it was down there." Lady Blount said it, who's a flat earther that succeeded Robotham. She's from that period in history, and well. They weren't going around saying that, though, were they? They were telling us that there was no 24-hour sun. There was no video of it. The only video of it was faked. You know, they weren't saying, oh, no, we've got no problem with there being a 24-hour sun. They were all saying there wasn't one.
It's not forgetting you can't go down there, you can't get on the shore.
Right.
You know, I mean, they say. I mean, it must have been a bit of a shock for Dr. Jaron to think that there's a part of him that's thinking this isn't a real place. They're not going to take us somewhere. We're not going to go down there.
Right.
There'll be a problem. We're not going to get on shore. And then all of a sudden you arrive somewhere and there's a bunch of fucking marathon runners saying, "Yeah, see you later. It's been cold."
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how does this pan out for them? That they think that's all just got to be ignored now.
Yeah, and I think that is probably where a lot of the disconnect is occurring, because Jaron actually had that experience and saw all these people casually, oh no, the sun doesn't set, and you know what I mean, and saw all of that. You know, they can't really get an essence of that from watching the videos of the sun and everything. But that would be compelling, wouldn't it? If you saw all these people that were just taking it for granted, that, you know, it would be a compelling piece of evidence, I think.
No, they're going to be complete. I completely understand what happened to him, but they'll be nonplussed because they can't get the essence of anything by looking at it on paper. That's why they think the way they do.
But
they can't get an.
I just looked at. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
They can't get an essence of geometry. They can't get a distance. They can't get an essence of distance properly.
Right.
There's so many things they say. Oh, well, that's impossible because how can something that far away or that? What's the speed of? It's just they can't conceptualize things properly.
Right.
So they're not going to look at. They're going to look at film of Jering going down there and going, oh fuck, and they're going to think that's either CGI or is some sort of double agent.
Yeah, and Vlad there, the 90 Ironworks 92,000 guy, his denial of the 24-hour the final experiment is that he hasn't seen the tickets yet, the airline tickets.
Oh yeah, I remember you showed him asking about the tickets.
Yeah, going on and on about these tickets, and that's essentially his debunk. Well, I haven't seen the tickets, so I don't.
They just showed me the tickets.
I don't have to
believe
think about it.
It's only true if you bring back duty free.
Yeah, it's just. But I did think that was amusing that they sort of, what's the way forward now? We've won. You know what I mean? What? When did that happen?
Nothing's changed. How can you say you won? It's like Trump thinking you won the Strait of Hormuz. Nothing's changed.
Okay, David Wise continues to roam the internet in search of nut jobs who will help him flog his app. One such useful idiot is Apollo the Original, who met face to face with Wise and even used AI to put up a little bit of a fight. Take a look.
So, Earth is flat, up to you. Do you know that or do you believe it?
I absolutely know it. And that's the thing. People go, Earth is a globe. You guys are idiots. And they go crazy. And I say, okay, what's the radius of your Earth? I don't know. What's the circumference? I don't know. How fast is it spinning at the equator? How far is it from the sun? How did they figure that out? How big is the sun? I don't know. And I'm like, and you want to debate me on the shape of the Earth? You know how I became a flat earther? I learned the heliocentric globe model. And I saw how ridiculous it was.
Like we all did in school.
Yeah. No. They didn't teach you. They didn't teach you the true model. They said, "Okay, we're going around the sun, we're spinning," but they never talked about the speeds. They never talked about how the Earth travels 4.5 billion miles a year, never to return to where it was before, for billions of years, and none of the stars ever changed. They don't talk about parallax. They don't talk about the angular resolution limits of our eye. The basic scientific debunking of the globe is the radius. The radius, the line from the center of the Earth to the surface. It's 3,959 miles. That's been debunked because the radius tells us the circumference. The radius tells us how much curvature there is over a certain distance, and we can see things far beyond that physical limitation of a globe. So the radius has been debunked. What does that mean? That means that all of the planetary distances, the moon, the sizes, that's been debunked. Space travel has been debunked. Our solar system's been debunked. Everything has been debunked when the radius is debunked. The Earth is flat, and it's provably so.
Let's stick to the basics. So if the Earth is flat, how thick it is then?
The deepest hole ever dug is the Kora borehole in Russia. America and Russia worked on it together for years. And they got down to 7.8 miles, I think, just under 8 miles. And they hit a barrier that they couldn't get through. They tried everything. And they couldn't get through it. They tried for years. And there's some crazy stories that come out of there. There's just stories like they put a microphone down there. They heard some really weird stuff. I actually heard it. I get chills just talking about it. I never want to hear it again. But take all that away. That's the deepest hole they've ever dug. So if the Earth was a Macintosh apple, they drilled a quarter of the way through that thin skin. Mm-hmm. And while they were drilling, they were doing ground penetrating radar to say, oh, there's no more rocks. Oh, then they hit more rocks. Okay, there's no more water. Oh, they hit more water, right? So the ground penetrating radar was wrong for the first 7.8 miles. Then they hit an impenetrable barrier. And then all of a sudden, we know what the next 4,000 miles is.
Right. How?
Yeah, no, that's all made up pseudoscience. We've all seen the image in our textbooks of the cross section of the Earth against the mantle. You got the molten magnetic core. That's a problem. But that's just pseudoscience. It's just made up. They couldn't tell you what was in the top half of the skin,
right,
let alone the core. So they just make it up. They sell it as a fact. They tell it to you when you're 5, and then you believe it for your whole life.
Well, okay, but do you know how thick the Earth is?
No, nobody does.
It's impossible to measure?
No, you can't get past 8 miles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if the Earth is flat, that means on there's an ice wall.
So the ice wall is a little bit of a psyop. Everyone knows the ice wall from the Game of Thrones, right? The little guy. Well, a lot of people they make it look like a wall at the end of the Earth. That's not the case, right? My tea here. You couldn't give this to me without a container. The cup.
Right.
Without the container, it needs to be contained. So liquids need to be contained.
Right.
So large bodies of water need to be contained. So if you had a lake what's the container for the lake? The land that's higher than the water.
Right.
And if you lowered that land below the height of the water,
It's gonna spill.
water's going to flow away.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at all the continents of the world and take their average elevation and we rank them, Antarctica is number 1, and it's over twice as high as number 2. So Antarctica isn't an island, a continent at the bottom of the ball. Antarctica is the shoreline that goes all the way around our world pond. Think of all the oceans as a giant pond and all the continents as islands within it. Antarctica is the shoreline that holds our water in. The question is, what's past the shoreline of Antarctica?
Right. But Antarctica is not mountains. It's just ice.
No, there's mountains. There's mountains in Antarctica. They call them... I mean, the names of the mountains are very weird, but there's supposedly mountains there higher than Everest, but they don't tell us about that.
But how do you know that?
Well, this is information that we have from some explorers, from old encyclopedias. The encyclopedia from 1958 says at 80 or 85 degrees, I forget, 80 degrees south, which is way south, farther than anyone is allowed to go and independently, they say that there's a domed ceiling at 13,000 feet.
What book is that?
This is the Encyclopedia Americana from 1958.
Americana Encyclopedia? Encyclopedia Americana from...
See if I have an image of that.
1958.
Yeah.
Said there's a dome
ceiling
in the South Pole. There is a well-known claim that circulates in flat Earth communities and has been thoroughly fact-checked. What the encyclopedia actually said. The 1958 Encyclopedia Americana Volume 2 contained a passage about early U.S. Antarctic flights. The flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Now, what dome actually means here? The word dome here refers to an ice dome, a geographic, glaciological feature.
But they're saying the tops of mountains, they call them domes. Right. So you can make up excuses for everything. And that's what the globe does. It just makes up excuses. It's an interesting point. Doesn't prove anything. It's just an interesting point that our old encyclopedias talk about stuff that's been removed. Why did they remove that from the current encyclopedia? Why doesn't it still say that? You know, and I'm sure you've looked into the old world, all the old buildings of this world, Tartaria type stuff. The textbooks before 1910 talked about when the Native Americans were here, when Columbus came here, that there were cities, buildings that were here already, deserted, and nobody knew where they came from. They were here already. All of that's been removed from our textbooks after the Rockefellers took over.
Can you prove that?
If you can find a textbook before 1910, yes. I've seen one. I don't have one, and I'm gonna look for one, but I don't have one personally. But here's the thing. Look at these old buildings. Look at, watch My Lunch Break on YouTube. He's one of the greatest guys that are looking at these old buildings. None of them have blueprints. None of them have any construction records. And the story is how they were constructed in the early 1900s or late 1800s in 1 year, like with no power tools and horse and buggies. It's all impossible stuff. So our history of the civilization on Earth is a lie. And the nature of our world that we live on is the biggest lie. I love your skepticism. I'll be like, let me see the proof of that. We don't need to go back in history. You don't have to believe the story of Eratosthenes 2,000 years ago, did his sticks and shadows, to prove the radius of the Earth, because that's been already debunked. We can go measure it ourselves, easy, with our naked eyes, or get a super zoom camera or a telescope. We can see things beyond the required physical limit of a globe of the diameter that they tell us.
Let's stick to Antarctica. So you said, what's behind the wall? What's behind those mountains?
The shoreline, right. You go to Antarctica, there's like a 200 foot high. All these people go, thousands of people go. Not thousands. Some people go every year, but they only take you to the very tip of Antarctica, the very, that little spit that comes out near South America. They take you to a little island there. They only take you there. There's 2 little islands that they take you to. And one of them's called Deception Island. And the other one's called, I believe it's Rothschild Island.
He's so full of fucking shit, isn't he? You can actually see him formulating the lie in that clip.
He was cut out in line and he just kept talking. The other guy let him out off it.
Right. Where Apollo asked him if if Antarctica was flat or something. And he says there's mountains there. And he said they call them, and then he stopped himself. And he said, oh, they have really weird names. Because he knows he didn't want to say dome, because he was about to tell him about the encyclopedia where it says there's a dome ceiling, he said, didn't he? So he knew that the fast one he was about to try and pull there with the encyclopedia claim, which is why he stopped himself from saying that they call them domes. It's unbelievable, isn't he? So dishonest.
He's never been down there.
So it's the ceiling of the mountains, not the ceiling of the globe that they were talking about?
Yeah, for some reason, there's a lot of these sort of hills or mountains in Antarctica, and they're all called domes for some reason. I don't know why.
Because of their shape.
Well, the guy that wears his hat backwards obviously knows more than all science.
And he cites as well the encyclopedia saying when you get down to 80 degrees south. Earlier on, he said you can't get down to 80 degrees south. You'd only get to the edge.
Right.
And he's ignoring the fact that Union Glacier is at 79.6 degrees south.
Exactly. He knows damn well that that's not true. He knows someone that's been there. And he still entertains Witsit. I mean, he thinks that they were tricked with, lasers or some stupid shit. But he doesn't say to Witsit, you didn't actually go to where you said you went.
Yeah.
It's...
And then he starts on about all this business. There was never any blueprints for the buildings.
Right.
In the St. Paul's Cathedral in London, Christopher Wren put his first clay model together in 1685, and he did 400 architectural drawings. Most of which are in the archive. You can go and look at any day. Right. I mean, this idea that these buildings, they had no tools, they had no power tools.
Yeah.
How do they do it?
Architectural drawings, Paz, like we do today. See? So this is the problem. They don't draw it like we do today.
It's just such bollocks.
Oh no, it's unbelievable.
Is that an American building that I thought he just meant American buildings, but
yeah, all right, maybe just the American buildings were all built in 20 minutes 2 years ago. That's fair enough. He is. If he wasn't doing this, he'd be selling, like I've said it many times, he'd be selling timeshare holidays to befuddled old, overly sunburnt pensioners.
Right. Well, that is what he did, isn't it? But he sold double glazing. No, he sold solar.
He's a sales. He is the most salesman of all the flat earthers.
Yeah,
He's got
but
it
was him selling solar. I think from what I sensed from it. I mean, he didn't go into detail, but I sensed it was a sort of a double glazing type cell, like a hard cell,
Yeah.
He doesn't even believe in the sun. He thinks it's just a light.
Right.
And I mean, we could have built skyscrapers back in the 1800s because we had slaves back then, right? It would have been a lot easier.
Yeah. All right, more from Weiss now, and we hear all about the demonic final experiment.
When people say, you can go to Antarctica, there's bases. So see all those bases, all those are known bases, but that's inverted. Go to the second picture. Mm-hmm. The second picture is how those are the bases. The shoreline of Antarctica surrounds our pond. And if you notice on the left-hand side, there's no bases for that area. Mm-hmm. That area, because look how that area doesn't stick out as far. It goes farther out, and there's no sunlight over there. There's no bases over there.
Okay, but if this is the true model of the Earth, it means the distance from this, let's say, base to this base is incredibly far.
Yeah, incredibly far. And that's why nobody goes from like the base off of Santiago to the base off of Australia. No two people like, hey, I'll come to your base, we'll have lunch. Never happens.
How do you know that?
Because it doesn't happen. They'd have to prove it. But nobody's ever done it. Nobody's gone from Australia to the base off of South America. If somebody wants to go to Antarctica, they go from Australia, I believe, to the United States, then to South America, then to Australia. Why don't they just go the other way, short little distance, and jump over to their base over there.
Okay, let's go Antarctica. Okay, so you've never been to Antarctica.
No, I was invited to go, a free trip, but it was based on a false premise by some very evil, not honest people, and I said I'm not interested. Right, because they were going to. There was a big deception there back in 2024 where they took some people. It was supposed to be designed for me because I was been waking up too many people with my app, with with all the interviews I'm doing, and they wanted to take me down. But I have a very good sense of evil. I just met you.
Discernment.
I can tell you're a good guy. I can tell before you open your mouth. Right, I can tell. I got an email and I felt literally demonic forces, right? And it was like, we're doing this experiment. I'm like, what's the experiment? You're looking at the sun? Like, wait, what? And then a second email, and I replied back, I don't deal with demons. Don't ever contact me again. And it turned into a whole ordeal. But they ended up taking down the biggest anti-flat earth paid agents to Antarctica. And they were the first ones ever to film a 24-hour sun down there. No institution, no explorers, nobody, but these guys filmed it for the first time. It's crazy. And
Okay,
there's so many problems.
Why don't you go there on your own?
I could, and I'd actually like to, but it takes a lot of time. It takes like weeks and a couple of weeks. You have to go stage, and it costs. If you're lucky, you can do it for $10,000. It's probably more like $30,000 or $40,000 if you're lucky. And what am I going to do there? What is it going to do? Is it going to prove the shape of the Earth?
To see the 24-hour sun.
But what does that prove? So if you think that the 24-hour sun in Antarctica proves the shape of the Earth, you now have to prove first that the Earth is a ball. Well, the radius has been falsified. 2, you have to prove that gas violates natural law, that it can exist in a vacuum, right? So the sun is made out of hydrogen and helium that defy gravity on Earth. Gas violently fills the available space in a vacuum, but in space, the biggest vacuum of all, there's so much helium and hydrogen that it collapses and turns into a gravitational ball that burns 640 billion tons an hour or something for billions of years, never gets smaller. It has gravity that could hold on to Pluto, but it can't pull our moon out of our orbit. You have to believe in stuff that people at Narnia laugh at, right? So I don't believe there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but we have models, physical models that show how a 24-hour sun could work in Antarctica.
Can you show me the model of the sun that flat earthers believe?
Well, of the 24-hour sun, or just how it works on a flat earth?
How it works on the flat earth.
Yeah, so
we have days and seasons and.
Yeah, so can I show my iPad? Would that be all right? Because I can show it to you in action.
Okay.
Does that work? Is the glare?
It works.
It works?
It is good.
Okay. So the sun on the flat earth is small and local. It's the hour hand of a 24-hour clock. Now you see those 2 yellow circles?
Yes.
The inner yellow circle is the Tropic of Cancer, and the outer yellow circle is the Tropic of Capricorn.
Okay.
And the sun spirals in on June 21st. It's over the Tropic of Cancer. And then it spirals out for 6 months. On December 21st, it's over the Tropic of Capricorn. The 24-hour sun works perfectly on a flat Earth and on a globe. There's no difference. It's in the south. What is the question in the south? Now, again, looking up at the sky and making observations is not science. The only thing that we can say about the sky is that anything that we see in the sky is that they're lights. It's the only thing that you can say with absolute certainty, right? We can't say how big it is, what it is, how far it is, when it got there, what it weighs. We can't say anything other than they're lights in the sky. We're not a light. We don't live in the sky. That's God's world, right? The sky is the heavens above. I don't believe that the sun and the moon that we see are physical. I believe there is a physical sun and moon, but I think it's more of a projection into what I call our sky screen.
Yeah, but it gets our heat.
Oh, it gets heat, absolutely. Like if you take a magnifying glass and burn ants, I know you did it as a kid, don't deny it, right? If you lift it up a couple inches, that point of light is still there, but it's not on the ground, it's in the air. Blow some smoke or spray some mist, and you'll see that it'll look just like a sun. And it has heat. So I believe, this is just my speculation, and again, we don't need to speculate what's in the sky to prove the shape of the earth, but I believe that the sun is within the firmament. When you say, well, within, aren't we in the firmament? No, we're under the firmament. When you put your milk in the refrigerator, do you put it in the refrigerator or under the refrigerator?
In.
God says that the sun and the moon are in the firmament. So I think they're above the dome that is enclosing us, that's holding our air in here, that's making us able to breathe. And I think that it is projecting or lensing through, and then we see it in a position that's relative to each viewer. So we all see, like if you and I were at the beach watching the sunset, you know how you see the sun walk across the water to your feet? If we were 10 feet apart or 10 yards or 1,000 yards apart, we're both going to see the sun walking on the water to our feet. And we're going to see the sun in different positions.
Mm-hmm.
So we both have a personal relationship with the sun that walks on water. That's a whole other thing. All right?
Okay.
So we don't see the same sun. So people say, well, triangulate the sun. You can't. Because if we wanted to triangulate the center of your TV screen, we could do it. We could measure between us. We could measure to that. But if we both saw that dot in different positions, we couldn't do it.
Polaris 2, when they flew right next to the moon, it would be super bright.
It should be.
For
It
them.
should be. We did the math. When you're 100 miles from the moon should appear brighter than we see the sun from Earth.
Impossible to watch it.
It would be impossible. It'd be absolutely ridiculous. So the inverse square law requires the moon to be brighter than we see the sun.
Sorry about that little bit of sound error there. That was actually my fault, not theirs.
Wait a minute.
Went
So
a
the
bit
sun
loud.
that lights
Well,
up
you're
the
talking
moon
about the
with
sound error of him
light?
speaking the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's no problem.
I like the one where he was asked, where he made the claim about no one's ever travelled between these two bases in Antarctica. And Apollo says, how do you know that? Apollo says, how do you know that? And he goes, because it doesn't happen. They'd have to prove it. No, you have to prove it. You've made the claim.
Yeah, most of the flights are going down and back. They're not going between bases because there's nowhere to refuel.
Right. But they do travel between bases because they're able to inspect each other's bases and things like that. So, but I mean, he literally just made that up, hadn't he? That's why when he said, "How do you know that?" he said, "Well, it doesn't happen. They'd have to prove it." I mean,
did you see the inverted image he had of where all the bases were? And he put the Scott Amundsen thing on the very, very, very edge at 90 degrees, but just in some random spot on the outside.
Right. Just
clearly that where is it then? Where along that edge is it exactly?
And there he goes.
It's
This
like
model, the
Pac-Man.
model. He said it works perfectly, and then he goes, "It's the South." You know, it works perfectly, but for the South. Oh well, it doesn't work perfectly, then, does it?
and that little story about you see the sun go down, you see the sun come walk across the water to your feet. I thought, what the fuck is he on about? And then of course it makes sense to me. Of course, the sun walking across water is another story.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, and if he's in a bit of trouble there, he'll just throw God in as well, doesn't he? So that's God's world, you know.
Yeah, God's world.
Yeah.
With his flat Earth map, he was showing that he was talking about the section of Antarctica that had no bases, and he said that place is always dark. How did you know that? There's no bases there.
Yeah. Yeah, like when he was on the other clip when he's talking about the Kola borehole, and he goes on about that they're wrong about everything, and they did this, and they were wrong about how much water there was, and they were just wrong, and they were wrong about everything, and then Apollo goes back to the question which he was originally asked, which was how thick is the flat Earth, and he just goes, nobody knows. They've only dug down 8 miles. Oh, so if all of this stuff that they did wrong, you would have accepted as being right, if when you needed it to, it just such screwy reasoning,
Yeah.
All right, I'm ranting. Our last clip from Weiss now, and we hear about airships in the 1800s and the predictive powers of his hero, Muammar Gaddafi. I hope I said that right.
How many time zones are there? On a globe, there should be 24 lines from the North Pole to the South Pole, equal like sections of an orange, right?
Correct.
Right? There's 19 time zones in the north, 24 between the tropics, and 32 in the south, officially. How does that work on a globe?
Is that true?
True.
How many time zones there are
In the south.
world? South and north. Short answer. 24 official time zones worldwide, but in practice, due to fractional offsets like 5:30, 9:45 for parts of Australia, the actual count reaches around 34 to 40.
38 to 40
distinct offsets.
Yeah, so it's all obfuscation. It's nonsense, right? The time zones actually prove the Earth is flat. The sun circles around, just like I showed you on my app. It goes around, and wherever the sun is, it's noon on the planet. It's unbelievable. I teach flat Earth to about 12 high school classes every semester, and every year it's like Groundhog Day. I have to start over again because this new crop of kids. If you mention God in your presentation, you lost all of them instantly. They're all gone. If you say, if someone says, well, why they lie? Like, well, they're hiding God. Boom, you lost every single kid in that class 99% of the time, right? So that's one problem. Then
there's so much against it.
The school used to have the Bible in school. When I was a kid, we used to have prayer time. We used to, do everything, and they took all that out and put the Space Initiative in. The Space Initiative is anti-God, right? So the other thing is that I found out this year is if you even suggest that governments have higher influences influencing them, whether they're secret cabals, whether they're corporations, they will not even consider that as a possibility. What are they doing to those kids in school where they can't even understand that there's a possibility? There's not a possibility. It's an absolute fact, but they can't even fathom it at all. This is what the school system is doing to our kids. It's unbelievable. It's so bad. And so when you break a kid's mind like that, they can't think rationally. A kid would never come up with the conclusion that we're on a spinning ball flying through space. A kid over time, if no one ever told him anything about the Earth, would figure out we're level, we're stationary, we must be enclosed because they knows about, high pressure and low pressure and the vacuum. None of that works. But we tell them all of these lies and it breaks their minds.
Okay. Why do they do it? What's the purpose? And how can they all come up with an agreement? Almost 200 countries in the world come up with the same stuff.
Separation of countries is fictional. It's to control the sheep. We're the sheep, right?
It's not fictional because there are lots of cultures.
There's lots of cultures, but they've literally pitted us against each other. They got the Jews hating the Palestinians from when they're little kids. They don't know why they hate them. You got everyone fighting, everyone hating. People hate all different. Why do you hate anybody? You only hate evil, right? So
if I'm told that, let's say, country X is a country of rapists, their culture is
we were told that Muammar Gaddafi was the most horrible man in the world. He wants to kill all Americans. He cuts people's heads off that don't kiss his feet. That's what we were told. He did a speech in the 1970s or 80s at the UN, and it was angry. And the news said, this guy is horrible. Well, since then, people have used AI to translate it into English, and they actually have an American, politician doing Gaddafi's speech. If I played you that speech and you didn't know who it was, you'd be like, wow, that's a great speech. I'd vote for that guy. And basically he said, in this time, in the 2020s, they're going to use fake V's. They're going to have forced V's that everyone has to take. They're going to change people's gender. He was saying everything that's going to happen, and he's saying he's not going to put up with it, and that's why they took him out. The Gaddafi is my big point. I mean, you probably don't even know about the Great Man-Made River. He did this aquifer project that absolutely is the most incredible thing ever. Took him 40 years. He was going to feed all of Africa. Organic farms were popping up everywhere across Africa. And then they blew it up with depleted uranium. The UN, Hillary, and the Obamas blew it up with depleted uranium bombs and then killed him. It's the most horrible story ever. And nobody knows about it. Nobody knows that this guy was great. And everyone hated them. All lies. Everything you know about every other country is all complete bullshit, right? There used to be airships. You know about the airships? There used to be airships, not just blimps, airships, like cruise ships that hold thousands of people. They have ballrooms and restaurants and showers and estate rooms.
When was that?
This was 1800s and before. They have airships that would cruise all over the world, right? And they use, some of them, or maybe all of them, used radium engines. Radium engines. Wait, radium. Who's using radium? They don't want us using radium because it's an endless fuel source and its exhaust is helium. Wait a minute, that's pretty good for an airship. Keep pumping up the bladders, right? Go up, down. So if we had airships, we can go explore Antarctica. We can explore the North Pole. They don't want that. We can travel anywhere we want, right? Why do we need passports? God gave us the right to travel. They teach in parts of Costa Rica, they still teach flat earth there. In in the early 1900s, they were still teaching flat earth in public school here.
Yeah, but we became smarter. Now we know better.
That's what they say.
Right.
We're not at the top of civilization. We're literally in the ending credits of idiocracy. Our world leaders go to Antarctica at the weirdest times. They disappear for several days. Then they come back to the base. Then they go home. I think they're getting their marching orders. Maybe they're from the fallen angels. Maybe they're from the Nephilim. I couldn't tell you because I'm not going there. But I think that there's more, that the real controllers of our world will never know who they are. And they're the ones pulling all the strings. There could be demons. There could be Satan himself. I don't know, because they're as I said earlier, they're loosh farming us. And until we stop feeding into that system, no fear. Love is the opposite of fear. If we all just loved unconditionally, all of the evil goes away. Evil hates love.
Okay, but it means that even pilots lie.
No, they don't know. They're bus drivers. The autopilot flies. And by the way, the northern pilots, their flights are pretty much the same as on a globe and a flat earth. It's the southern long haul ones. All of the Qantas airline pilots that are based in the long haul flights, they all know. We've talked to them. They talk about it freely amongst themselves in their lounge, but they don't talk about it publicly because they will be grounded if they do.
What are they talking about?
They're talking about the earth being flat.
Oh my God.
See, the pilots are bus drivers, but these particular bus drivers, they have a detailed, intimate knowledge of the truth. But all the other ones are bus drivers.
And if we had airships, we could explore Antarctica, but apparently we can't do that with aircraft.
Well, you can't do it unless you've got a ballroom. You can't do it.
Right. And it's such bollocks, all of that, about thousands of people. The Hindenburg, I think the most it ever carried was like 93, including the crew.
Yeah. I mean, he's seen those memes where they show an airship and it's cut away and it's got like a little citadel inside.
Right. I mean, they did have cool stuff. You know, it did have, I guess you could say, staterooms. I mean, I don't think there was ever one with a ballroom on it.
Well, the Hindenburg was tiny. The cabin space was tiny.
Yeah, it was quite limited, and everything had to be very light. And
I mean, it was, they had one tiny little room. The passenger, you could smoke.
Right.
There weren't that many, passenger spaces in it.
No.
I mean, I think it was like, 30, 40 bedrooms in it, tops, weren't there? I think
something
maybe
like that. Yeah, that's sort of a number.
The deck plans. No, I think it's actually. I'm just looking at the Hindenburg deck plan now. I can see 1, 2, 3 bunk rooms with double bunks in them. There's about 30 of them. There was 2 decks, A deck and B deck.
Right.
And everyone, there was like a passenger lounge, grand piano, 4 tables, 19 chairs. A reading room, 2 tables with several chairs, dining area, a promenade. So, you probably had, 20. It says here 25 double-berthed passenger the passenger cabins. So we're not, there's no all this. There was a smoking room. Obviously, we could only we could actually use tobacco for obvious reasons.
It was it had a negative pressure setup.
Right. Yeah.
And in that smoking room, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, this isn't. There's a thousand or a couple of thousand square foot on 2 decks. The idea that all the ones you see, I know the memes he's talking about. You see, they cut away the actual space where all the helium was, and they've got that chock full of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they got like waterfalls and tropical gardens.
Right. Yeah. He thinks that all of that shit is just so ridiculous.
Oh, radium engines.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Really.
All right. Mikey Smith was all rattled this week because of some interaction with the Drunk Debunk show and Icy Spin. As a result, he decided the following was his best course of action.
What's happening, guys? We are going to go live as of right now. We are phoning a few people. I have already phoned the RCMP, left them a message. I'm waiting for one of them to call me back here soon. And we will be phoning the Border Patrol, Human Rights, Social Services, absolutely everybody. So I wish you guys luck. For those of you harassing me, I have taken multiple pictures of the emails and recorded the videos of people telling them to go get me. And yeah. And if we're going to have any issues on this live stream, you will be immediately blocked. I'm warning you now. One bad word or harassment suggestion to me or making fun of me, I will immediately block you. Okay? You will be reported to the police. This is the end of it. I'm sorry that the truth makes you uncomfortable. And yeah, good luck. Anyways, I need to, let's see here. I have recorded and documented and downloaded the live stream that harasses me along with other multiple harassments and live streams. So yeah. And yes, we will be phoning them live on the phone. So we will be documenting that. And because I have every right to do that. And because why? Because we have rights here in Canada too, right? Because we're so fucking awesome. And no, I will not watch my language because I have a freedom of speech in this country also. Correct? So yeah, we're just going to wait and wait and wait for a few more people to come on and allow other pieces of rat shit out there to let all the other globies out there know that I'm going live right now. So we'll just let a few minutes bypass. And I'm going to state this live to social services too, because now they want to watch me because supposedly people are harassing me even at social services, phoning social services, proclaiming that I have a brand new car, which I do not have. So if you want to know the truth, you talk to me. You don't assume something when somebody from Ontario has phoned you and complained about me because they're jealous because I know how to tell the fucking truth. Right, guys? All right. We've got the wonderful Skeptic 936 in there. That is probably some of the IQs in reverse or independent of the 3 and the 6. Some of the IQs maybe possibly of maybe Drunk Debunk, maybe only 3 or 6, maybe 9. I don't know. But anyways, Tarek, good to see you there. I have recorded it. I just posted the video for YouTube legal department to view. I am going to send them an email reply. Also, I will be sending this video to the RCMP. I'm very good friends with one of them, and we will be dealing with this legally now. Okay, so they've stepped it up a notch. Now it's my turn to step it up a notch, right? So, Coots, Border Patrol. That's where I crossed, and we will be phoning them because they were so welcoming to me and so respectful of me. We will be phoning that place and reporting Mike. We have his Facebook profile here. Mike, we will put that up on the stream there so he knows, so everybody knows his name and family and his devil worshiping life that he lives. He was born on March 30th, 1988, by the way, married to Jessica in 2019. So we're just going to pass out some information, which is readily available on Facebook. It's available to the public. So there you go. And yeah, so he likes posting fake crap about space and launches and deployments and shit like that on his bullshit Facebook channel here. But we will be phoning the Border Patrol, U.S. side, and maybe the Canadian side. But I would like to deal with the U.S. side because this needs to be dealt with. He will not be crossing the border because if he does, I'm going to phone the United States of America and let them know that this guy who was harassing me, hey, why not? Let's phone random government agencies. How about that? This is to the point. See, this is where we go. The Globies only have insults. In fact, you know what? Let's take them to court. Let's take Mike to court. Okay, so I'm filing for harassment charges as of right now. We're going to phone them. I'm going to talk to my lawyer. I'm going to make an appointment with that. If McToon, that flying motherfucking piece of rat shit, him too wants to keep harassing me. Oh, and his wonderful subscribers, his piece of devil worshiping. This is going to the next level, guys. I will not stop. I've got a week and a half to move. Every minute of every day now, if I'm not packing, I'm phoning the government and I'm going to be filing harassment charges against this guy. So we're going to phone whoever it is. So whoever is in Canada right now can help me out. Maybe Tarot can phone, help me out, send me messages on WhatsApp. What government agencies I can phone? Maybe I'll phone the passport company, right? In the United States of America. Yes. Who can I phone to bash the shit out of this person for harassing me for the last many years? I'm going to see a psychiatrist due to this motherfucker. I cannot sleep due to this motherfucker. He is going to be put down, okay? He is a piece of rat shit, a devil worshiper. I am absolutely through with this. I am talking to legal departments as of right now. The Border Patrol, we are phoning them this live stream. I'm going to report him to the Border Patrol. Okay? Icy spin. Anybody wants to fuck around with me, let's bring it on. I'm reporting you to the Border Patrol as of right fucking now. McToon, you're next. This is your last chance, buddy. You're fucking going down. The fucking flat earth guy, he's going down. Any harassment, anybody from Brenda Debates, anybody. This is your last chance. I will be phoning the Border Patrol and the United States of a government of the piece of shit communities that you live in. I am going to be controlling you as of right now. You are not ever going to control the border, past the border, Mr. Mike, who promotes alcoholism on his channel. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to report this to the border. We're going to be phoning my lawyer, making an appointment on the phone. We will leave a message for human rights because they randomly just leave messages there. And all I'm doing is recording the stars and the firmament. I'm sorry that bothers you so much and that you've been lied to your entire life, okay? After this, when I get reinstated with my car, with the billboard back on it, I'm going to the governments, every single place, okay? The governments have been lying to you, stealing your money, my money. Yes, you, social services. I have the right to live in peace without being harassed on the phone. Right? Social services? I have the Canadian Charter of Rights printed off. It is in my car, and I will be presenting that to social services next time I go there. They are going to know my human rights, which a lot of you don't understand how that works. I do.
Oh, poor Mikey.
He's Canadian. He doesn't have a freedom of speech. What the hell is he talking about?
I had no idea, bro. It was so based.
And why does he think the Border Patrol is going to come in and arrest Americans?
I don't really know.
I wonder where he's moving.
Shouldn't really take the piss out of him, should we? But he's just irresistible when he gets like this.
Yeah, he's going a bit manic.
Is he special?
Yes, he has some sort of learning difficulty, doesn't he? Diagnosed learning difficulty, I believe.
Well, yeah, he's a flat earther, but I mean...
no, I mean a proper medically diagnosed one.
I see.
He's a victim of the internet.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He really is.
Chucky, do you guys have social services in Canada? Because social services don't arrest people or give you rights. They just give you like money and assistance.
Yeah, they normally are only to call you when you've applied for something. They want this information.
I wonder if that isn't what, people were saying, that, he'd got a car that he shouldn't have had or something like that. Or he'd got a car and he shouldn't have had the money for the car, I think maybe it was. I'm not really sure.
I mean, I don't think I've ever... Go on, Kev.
Oh, look, who's the guy that he was complaining about? He's promoting alcoholism on his show or podcast or whatever. I mean, that is a felony, right? So, I mean, you got to report the guy for that. Alcoholism, Jesus Christ.
What's the name of the show, Jim? The Drunken Debunk Hour?
The Drunk Debunk Show.
Yeah, that's as far as the promoting alcoholism goes.
Good God.
I mean, I've never had a personal interaction with this Mikey guy, and I'm pretty certain now if I was in a room and he was in there, I'd leave. I don't want that person to have my name on their list, on his little hate list.
Right.
Because he could do anything, couldn't he? Clearly, you can see it there.
Yeah.
That's a cork. That's a cork about to pop.
Right. Mikey actually makes some calls now, starting with the US Border Patrol.
Good day. How are you? I wish I could be doing better, but I'm going to give you a story here. I was just in the United States of America last week, and so I was there in Utah for a while, and I am now back in Canada. And there are people on YouTube channels, and I have a specific person's name actually because they changed names on YouTube's. This guy Mike Cuartas is literally harassing me and telling people to go find me and to go get me on his live streams because I'm obviously a threat to this guy. I don't know why. I just run a YouTube channel. All I was doing was recording the stars in Utah. If this guy keeps harassing me, there's going to be problems. I don't need harassments from the United States of America, okay? This guy's name is Drunk Debunk Show on YouTube, and he makes fun of my learning disability, okay? I'm contacting Human Rights of Canada, and I'm going to report this citizen of the United States of America harassment charges and human rights issues, okay? You need to deal with this guy. Either that or I'm contacting the RCMP of Canada and I'm going to report this guy for harassment charges, okay? I am not going to deal with this. Okay, I'm a normal citizen of Canada. I was there doing my every human right to travel and record stars in the United States of America. I've done it many times, and I am tired of this guy harassing me. Okay, I am losing sleep. I am seeing a psychiatrist due to this guy. If he talks to me anymore, he's going to have repercussions on this. Okay, I don't care about freaking things happening. He's going to be running into a huge problem here. You need to deal with this as a citizen of your country, and if you take your laws and your rules appropriately and truthful, you need to deal with this guy, because if you don't, I'm going to, and Canada's going to. I'm tired of this piece of rat shit harassing me. His name again is Mike Cuartas, and he is on Facebook. You can go look at him, and his YouTube channel is Drunk Debunk Show. He promotes alcoholism and drugs on his channel, and I am absolutely pissed off with this, and I am not dealing with this as a Canadian citizen. Now, what are you going to do about it?
It's called Drunk the what?
Yeah, Drunk Debunk Show. DEBUNK Show. His name is Mike Cuartas. I have screenshots and videotapes of his last live stream from the other night of him telling people to go find me, to go get me. I don't know what that means, but nobody needs to be going to get me when I'm there. Okay. And he's, no, I'm not sure exactly. Well, let me check. He lives in New Hampshire. He was born, his birth date is March 30th, 1988. He lives in Amherst, Amherst.
And does he go live every day, or?
Yeah, 3-4 times a week, something like that. But yeah, I could, you can check out his last live stream there. It's.
Have you tried unfolding him or anything like that? How does that work in YouTube?
No, yeah, YouTube doesn't talk to people over the phone. You've got to email them or send them messages, and then they reply, and you don't even know if they're doing anything about this issue. So, but I've already contacted the RCMP here in my province. I'm calling from Saskatchewan, and I'm going to let them know, obviously, too. And again, I'm going to be contacting human rights like today after this phone call.
Okay, and what is your name?
Michael Allen, Allen.
Michael Allen.
Yeah.
And you already in Saskatchewan?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How long you were in the U.S. when you were here?
I was there a week. Yeah, I was there a week. It's been going on for months, but the last live stream was the worst because he had actually told somebody to go get me, go find me. And he's in the last couple live streams, like again, he keeps bringing up my learning disability and he thinks that's funny. So I'm going to be reporting him to Human Rights Commission here in Saskatchewan. And yeah.
Have you already tried calling the local police here in the U.S.?
No, I haven't. No, I guess I could try that too. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll try them first.
Okay.
Because they're here in the U.S. and they'll be able to locate and check all the information from him.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, yeah, I'll even go to the local, his local police. Obviously, that would make sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you for calling. Yeah, I got this information here.
Yeah.
You're welcome to call the local police department here in the U.S.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at what's going on.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ha! Ha! High five! I got to stand up, by the way, because of my legs being so shitty and my feet. Just in case social services doesn't trust me. I've got bad circulation in my fucking legs and they're stinging right now. Oh, I'm so just, the government doesn't give a flying fuck about you. Nobody. They just want everything beck and call right now. They want you to bend over backwards just for some handful of fucking information. Can't even sit down for more than 20 minutes before I go crazy. All right, now we're going to be phoning Human Rights Commission. Hey, McToon, you're next, bitch. You're next, biatch. Okay, we need to phone Human Rights Commission, Saskatchewan. Contact us. This is going down. You're going down, bitches. And then we're going to phone Mike's local police department. Thank you. They will be going to his place probably today. Woo, 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 woo. Let's rock and roll, devil worshippers. Let's go. Okay, phone number, dial.
You have reached the Saskatchewan Human Rights Commission inquiry line. Please leave your name, telephone number, and a brief description of your inquiry. We will do our best to return your call as soon as possible. Thank you. After the tone, please leave your message and then press the pound key.
Yes, good day. My name is Michael Allen. I'm calling from... I'm phoning in regards to some harassment charges and human rights issues and relating to some American people making fun of my learning disability. I'm going to be contacting the police here in Saskatchewan and in the United States. I've already contacted to the border of the United States border crossing and to complain about this one person who is harassing me and making fun of my learning disability. And so, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to do and if you guys can do anything, if I need to fill out papers but you guys will be doing something because this is a human rights issue. I'm not going to be made fun of due to my learning disability. And again, if you guys don't do anything, then I'm going to take you guys to court too. And I'm going to talk to my lawyers about this whole thing too. So you're going to call me back and you're going to explain to me what you're going to do about this or what I can do about it. So please call me back at... thank you very much for your time. All right, we need to phone the police of Amherst, New Hampshire. Amherst, New Hampshire police. There we go. The police department right there, boys and girls. Hey, Drunk Debunk Show. How you feeling right now, buddy? You got about 20 seconds to clear up your life, and I'm going to push call. We will be talking to the police, and they will be notified of you.
Oh, it ended. He is madder than a bag of bees, isn't he?
What's he bring border control for?
No idea. No
I
idea.
think we need to get him in touch with Queen Romano. She'll help him out.
Yeah, she would sort him out. Poor bloke.
He's just going to get made more fun of for this now, is he not?
Well, yeah, but, you know, I mean, he
doxed himself. He said his name. He said where he lives.
No, he didn't. He said where the other guy lived.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
Cam.
he goes silent. He was quite accurate with that. He muted it every time he gave his details. But I think he's fair game because he fucking sticks this stuff online, right? I mean, he didn't have to live stream himself doing that, did he? If he was genuinely offended by their actions and what have you, he could have just, you know, made those calls on it, you know, without live streaming it.
I mean, you know, they're taking the piss out of his learning disabilities, etc., and that's not on. But he has spent his entire time online, just basically just completely insulting everybody, like McToon, calling him, you know, all the things you can imagine.
Right, and telling them how right he is and how wrong they are, and they just can't accept that he's right and this sort of thing.
Satanists using the P word, all the things he's done before.
Yeah.
You know, he's not really.
He doesn't do himself any favours, does he? Let's face it.
No, quite.
Okay, then, finally tonight, Dr. Stephen Alonso wants you to enroll in his Flat Earth University.
Hi there. I'm Stephen Alonso, one of the senior Flat Earth researchers here at the Flat Earth University. I'm really excited to let you know that we just purchased a premium e-learning platform license. It's going to allow us now to have unlimited courses and a really immersive platform. I'm actually most excited about the mobile app. It lets you view the lectures, do the quizzes, all from your phone. And there's even a communities feature where you can chat in different groups. I made one for the general, one for the plasma moon, one for the app, and you can chat with other people. I'll be there listening, and then all the students are also in there as well that you can talk to. Now, I think it's really, really cool because it's an online, really advanced platform with lessons and quizzes and tests. We're going to be issuing official transcripts. Now, the long-term goal is that we want to start certifying people as masters of flat earth theory. What that means, though, is you're going to have to take at least 5 courses. We have first year and second year courses. So the 200 series courses, that's going to be stuff such as celestial navigation, and you're going to be tested on your abilities of that. We're going to show you like a picture of the southern locations of stars, and based on what we taught you, you'll have to identify where the south celestial pole is. And you're going to be quizzed on everything, tested. There's lectures, videos. It's a really, really nice platform. And your certificate for the Master of Flat Earth Theory program, it will have a unique number that you can then look up online to prove that, okay, no, you actually are certified. It's not just someone taking a screenshot of this and printing it off. There's a digital verification, because to have the title of Master of Flat Earth Theory is a real honor, and it's me who has the authority to issue this. I'm Dr. Stephen Alonso. I wrote the Flat Earth Science textbook. So as one of the senior researchers here and the custodian of the geocentric cosmology degrees, I am going to make sure that you are a master of flat earth theory. It's not just a diploma mill. It's not even a real diploma, because that's the thing. You're not going to put this on your resume. You're doing this for self-knowledge, self-improvement, because you want to become a certified master of flat earth theory. That's all you're doing it for. And it's very powerful. That's the difference between, you could say, globe stuff, where they just want a piece of paper to put on their job. Whereas for us, we're taking these courses because we actually want to learn a lot of really cool stuff. And in modern days, the way that technology and e-learning works is really, really cool, because as you can see, you have all the quizzes, all the lectures right on your phone. So I'm more of a computer guy. I like having my big 4K monitor, and I'm coding away, doing my work and stuff. So I prefer that. But I'm so impressed at the mobile app, because you can now take it anywhere with you and show someone a lecture on flat earth science. And we have videos, PDFs. It's a really, really cool platform. It's the same level that any university or college would be using, and it costs us a little bit of money. So that's why we're selling some courses as well. To manage a business that allows us to do this and output high quality stuff over a long period of time, we do rely on being crowdfunded by the people who can afford it. A really good example is our Firmament Trackers Flat Earth app. The free version lets you learn so much, and then we even give a 75% discount if you're from a developing country and your income is lower. So we really try to make it so there's no real excuse, that anyone who wants to support us can, and it goes a real long way. That's how we're able to then buy our Apple developer account for $100. They actually charge $99 even if we want to release a free app. So the people who bought the Pro Android app are the reason other people can now get the free app. Some people can't afford the Pro, and that's perfectly fine. But together as a community, we're able to accomplish so much. So the Flat Earth University is one of the business units owned by the Journal of Geocentric Cosmology. And it's been something for over a year now. But now that we have more money and more funding, we can really take it to the next level. So last year we were limited to one course, and it's hard to do a lot of stuff with that because as a university we have so many courses. We have the FE series that we need to teach you. We have the PM series. My real degree is in computer science, so I want to start the computer science degree and then go over the CS series of courses, so Android development, front end development, back end development, and even international business. As you guys know, I live in Belize. I don't pay taxes. I have anonymous corporations in a whole bunch of different countries, and it's really, really nice. So I want to teach people how to do that as well. So we have the Department of International Business, which will be doing the IB200, I believe it's called, series of courses. We have the Department of Geocentric Cosmology, which will be doing the FE series of courses, first year and upper. And then finally, we have the Department of Computer Science. So those three departments, international business, geocentric cosmology, computer science, allows us as a university to give you a real education and a lot of stuff that you would actually want to know. You might have an interest in technology. Well, I can teach you front-end web development because I built the firmament trackers model. I am one of the best developers there is, and it's fun to learn a lot about flat Earth when you're doing this. Even the science of flat Earth, math behind how the world works is more fun when it's based around flat Earth. Now, I don't have any experience with early childhood education, but I'm looking to put together a homeschool course for ages 8 to 12. So a lot of your feedback would be appreciated on that, but I want to make a safe, friendly, and religious way that we can introduce globe science to. I have a globe. I didn't want to bring it out. It's behind the curtain. But it's important that young kids learn the globe, understand the mainstream theory, but then also learn how the world really works, biblical cosmology, the flat Earth, and then the social stuff behind that. How does a young child navigate the social hierarchies of a world that we're of, but not meant to be of, if that makes sense? You still have to navigate through the world, and you might not necessarily want your 12-year-old kid going to school saying the Earth is flat, because other people can be prone to violent reactions, and it's a really dangerous kind of thing. So thank you all for listening to my presentation on this. The Flat Earth University courses, you can enroll right now for free, and you'll get access to the student portal, and you can see when new courses come out. So right now, every course is in a pre-approved state. So what that means is you can see as we're adding our stuff into it, you can see the names of the courses, the prices they'll be, what the free ones are, and you can enroll so that when we publish the course, you'll just get an email from the Flat Earth University saying, yeah, here's your course. You can start, track your progress, go at your own pace. There's no rush. So I'm going to be recording lots of lectures. Other senior Flat Earth researchers will be participating in these lectures as well. We're going to have the best from the best. So I hope that I can get a big community effort to participate in this, and we can really spread this far, promote your own brands as well. If you have a scientific background in the Flat Earth sciences and want to help teach at the Flat Earth University and receive a commission, there's a lot of money to go around. We're definitely able to work out with that. So stay in touch, look over our content, and let me know your feedback on what you want. Make sure that the app is easy to use. Make sure that you can get logged in fairly easy. It's students.flatearth.university. So we're a .university. We're not a .com or anything. We're a real university, and we're trying to brand ourselves as a professional premium. Our expenses are now getting high, but it's because of you guys buying my textbook, buying our app, that we can now invest that money. That's the whole idea of the Flat Earth Research Fund. 40% of everything is going back into the community so that even once I'm dead, this as a business will live on forever. And then the parent company will be passed off to my family, passed off to another senior researcher, and through ever, this will continue to live on. The legacy doesn't die. That's what's really good about the way I've structured it and how we're going to progress this forward.
Anyone fancy it?
I didn't even see him put the website up for the university for more than 2 seconds.
It's a really good platform. He said that 17 times.
Yeah.
I did find the website by searching for it, though. It's not licensed. It's not accredited. The state of Wyoming does not require educational quote institutions to be accredited. And even the letter that talks about its accreditation, it's accredited as a business unit of a journal. So it's not anything educational.
But it's .university.
I know.
Is there a flat Earth music module in this course?
Oh, that would be fun.
I did
he
notice that
steal this?
He stole.
I seem to remember
Witsit's idea, right? To make a university.
There was a guy. I thought he was in Western Australia. I remember seeing him on the show. He and his wife were on talking about this, and I could have sworn it was Flat Earth University, but they were Australian. And nobody remembers that.
Yeah, that was. Who is that guy? He's the guy that first came up with the whole, celestial navigation thing requires a flat Earth. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
They have 512 students according to their website.
Mitchell. Was it Mitchell?
Mitchell from Australia. That was it. Mitchell.
He got good memory.
These people.
Ooh, you can book Stephen Alonso for a debate.
I want you to look at this. Oh, I'm sorry. We're doing a show. My bad. Good.
Well, we're almost not doing a show because that is the end of it.
One thing I will say is, did you notice that he flashed his certificate? It showed his name and the master of the flat Earth theory, but then promptly told you that when you finish the courses, you wouldn't be getting a certificate.
Right.
Because you were doing it for your education. So you don't even come with any accreditation out of it.
It's because you want to find out how it all works, Pass. That's why you do it. You want to know what's what.
Look, I want to get a degree in flat Earth alpha males. That sounds pretty cool.
All right. Well, that was my show. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you to the one person who PayPal'd me. That's very kind of you. Very much appreciated. If you enjoyed the show and you would like to do the same thing, you can... Hang on, let me get the link. I'll just have one more bash at it because you never know your luck, right? You can bung us a few quid here, like this, via this thing. Thank you very much. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you to everyone that was here on the panel. I couldn't do it without you. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time at the usual time, which is 10 p.m. UK time. And also, I found out yesterday, what is it? Central European summertime, apparently. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back in a few minutes with more from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. Have a good evening.
Stop talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick Earth with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent service? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent to your friends over?
My name's Logan. I think I'm coming out of the fire closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat Earth person.
Can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat Earth and things making sense.